Sorry, Elliot. Can you hear me? Oh, yay! You've got me. I'm ever so sorry. It's just number one thing of telly, isn't it? To turn your microphone on. Anyway, welcome to the show. I did a lovely intro there. I hope everybody who is very good at lip reading could understand that. I did a lovely intro for Kat because she keeps saying, please can you say hello and welcome to the show? And you just missed that. So anyway, I hope... No, I'm not blaming you, Paul. It's Paul's first day in the studio. He's very, very excited to be here. We've got a brilliant show for you today. I mean, a brilliant show for you today. So sorry about that. It wasn't you don't need to try and adjust your television. It was just me. It was probably nice and calm start for an 8 o'clock in the morning. Normally, yeah, I'm a bit too loud, aren't I? Anyway, we've got Adele here today and it's her birthday. So she's literally getting ready now in the dressing room. She's going to be on in the next hour and she is got two of the most incredible dresses to bring us today. So if you've never done dressmaking before, okay, Adele is one of the best teachers. She is a science teacher anyway. She is literally a teacher. But she is so clear and so thorough that she will inspire you to start dressmaking. I'm definitely confident in that. We've got two of the most popular patterns. When I say popular patterns, I mean from So Different. So we've got the tie belt dress and we've also got the tulip dress from So Different. Every time that we have had the So Different dresses in, they have been so popular. So at 11 o'clock, we've got this one, which is with the most beautiful dip neckline. No fastenings, no zips. Beautiful, I love that dart in the centre as well. Big pockets, a nice tulip sort of shape. So it means that you've got plenty of room around your waist, which especially over the last 6 months, I think we'll all be very grateful for. So that's a really beautiful dress. And then the one in the cord, how autumnal is this? We've got some brand new fabrics for this. And they're absolutely beautiful. You've got sort of like an elbow length sleeve, which I think is really flattering, and a gorgeous tie, which you can have as tight or as loose as you want. And it's really interesting how the tie is actually incorporated into the design. We'll talk to Adele more about this in a bit, but you've got the dart through the centre here. It's not a full sort of seam there, that's just a dart where you've got your tie. Now it's in the same fabric on this, but that would look amazing in a contrasting fabric as well. Anyway, I digress, we should be talking about the early bird. Today's early bird is going to be very, very popular indeed. It's a classic. All of us crafters need a good pair of scissors. And what I love about this is it's in a great gift set. You know, sometimes with a great saving as well. Hang on. Is that an £8 saving? So I said to Kat literally just before the show, so how much are we saving on the early bird? £2? £3? I think we agreed on it's got to be about £3. That's one of the biggest savings on an early bird I've seen for ages. At $14.99, I thought that would be a great price. £8 saving on this, and your beautiful Millwood scissors. They are great quality fabric shears, or if you want to use them as your second pair of scissors for paper even, at this price point, that's fantastic. You know when you buy a gift set, whether that be aftershaves or body sets, smellies, if you're buying anything, and you buy it mainly for the aftershave or for the shower gel that you like. And then it comes with some extras that are more of they go in the drawer and you might not use them. I always get ones with like foot soak crystals, or I'm like, when will I use that? I very rarely have a foot spa, or different things like that. And I think, I don't know when, yeah. They're saying, what are your feet like then, Vic? You rarely have a foot spa. Well, I tell you, don't I, when I do the nail cuticle oil, that it's really good for your feet as well. Says it all. So, what I love about this is that you also get some really useful freebies. So if you just think £11.99, amazing price just for your quality Millwood scissors. You've also got a pair of embroidery snips. So a pair of really lovely, sharp and detailed embroidery scissors. And I know this sounds crazy, but they've got a really big, nice loop for your finger and thumb, which sounds crazy, but sometimes when you're looking at smaller scissors, they're almost like cracker style, that they're too small to fit your fingers in. So They're really handy. They've got beautiful detail, really nice and sharp, right to the point, and a great addition just to have, obviously, near to your sewing machine. Anybody that does any hand stitching will know how important it is to have a thimble as well. So you've got a thimble in there. Plus, very, very useful, you're also getting a little pack of pins. So you've got your thimble, your pins, your embroidery snips, and you're getting your Millwood scissors with a saving of £8. I mean, that comes in a beautiful box as well, doesn't it? If you are thinking of Christmas gifts, which I think loads of us are. Yesterday I was talking about Christmas dinners and everything after the show, and Hayley said, what is it with everyone talking about Christmas? She said, we've all been talking in the office about Christmas. I think it's because the nights are drawing in, it's getting really dark. It was pitch black by 8 o'clock last night, and it just makes me feel quite Christmassy. And obviously with everything that's been going on in the world this year, I want to be more prepared. I want to be extra prepared this year and not have to queue up outside in all of the elements to go into shops. I think it's going to be quite manic. So I'd like to just be a bit more organised, and you can shop from the comfort of your own home. Every morning, 8 o'clock, we do discounted products. So if you want to, I understand it's an expensive time of year, so if you do want to start making those savings and stocking up nice and early, this is a great one to purchase for any crafter, no matter whether a dressmaker, a quilter, a bag maker, if you do soft furnishings, if you do soft toys, no matter what craft, scissors are essential. I couldn't believe actually when I first started at Sewing Quarter, when I first started in the craft world about 3 years ago, I could not believe how precious everybody was over their scissors. I went into the office and said, oh, can I just borrow your scissors? What are you cutting? What are you cutting with it? And it is important to have the right tools for the right job. It meant that I was going around doing surveys asking, how many pairs of scissors have you got? And now if Kieran tries to take the scissors, my fabric scissors, to do anything else, I'm like, whoa, 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 what you doing? I get it, I do get it. But it's good to be able to have a really lovely pair of scissors, especially when you're making that first cut into your designer fabric. They're brilliant. Just £11.99. Can I remind you, that is an early bird discount of £8. Tomorrow, these will be £8 more expensive. They will be £8 more expensive. Well, I say that, it's while stocks last. I've got a feeling that these could be an early sellout. We have got a lot of these in stock. We made sure that we had plenty of these, but still, I've got a feeling that they could be very, very popular. We've had them as well in the rose gold option, which I believe are still on the website if you do love the rose gold, but they are £8 more expensive. So it's a really good chance to be able to get your lovely silver coloured scissors for less than £12. One for you, one for a friend maybe. That is, what is that percentage-wise? That's got to be like 40% off or something. That is a big saving, isn't it? Really big saving. £11.99, and you've opened your postage and packaging for all day long. So you can get any of the creative grids, you could get any of the dressmaking patterns, any fabric, or you can look on the website and purchase anything from the website, any of your little bits and bobs, any H640, any half metre, white or black fabric or pink fabric or blue fabric, calico even at £2.49. If you're starting dressmaking today, we've got calico back in stock. It's only £2.50 a metre. And it's the quilter's pre-shrunk, beautiful quality calico as well. It's really, really gorgeous quality. And it's just come back into stock over the last couple of days. So if you do want to make a toile first for any of the dresses, then it's definitely worth getting that. And that might not be something that you come in and purchase on its own if you've got to pay your postage and packaging. Whereas if you've opened your order already, only one P&P all day long. So definitely make the most of those. I'll remind you later on, as I know, whenever we do, for example, yesterday we obviously had, was it Bertie fabric yesterday, or that was the day before? It was the Bertie fabric. We had dressmaking fabric yesterday. The day before that we had the William Morris. Oh, I'll tell you about those in a second. And then the early bird. We do different sort of specialised early bird specials, whereas this is for everybody, isn't it? It's perfect for everybody. Now, today, as I say, we've got a great show. Do you want to have a look at what is coming up on today's show? So this first hour, we're going to be focusing in on creative grid rulers. Now, obviously, there is a lot to talk about with individual creative grids. So I'll try and give you dates as well as when they were really in-depthly demonstrated. But we're going to do a bit of a one-stop shop on as many creative grid rulers that we can get in before 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, get all of the messages in for Adele because it's her birthday today. She's celebrating her birthday with us. I am not guilty I don't feel guilty saying that we've had cake for breakfast. Yay! The boys though, Elliot and Paul didn't have any cake. They were, making us feel a bit guilty when they're like, oh no, I can't have cake before 8 o'clock. I'm watching my waistline, and we're like, oh, okay, we've just had massive slice after my Weetabix and after I've had an orange, and yet still I thought it was necessary for Adele's birthday to eat cake as well. So that's 9 o'clock. We've got the tie dress first, which is beautiful. Get any of your questions in for her, get all of your messages and we'll read them out on air. At 10 o'clock, we've got blue and yellow. So we love the colour combination blue and yellow, so much so that we've used it for our sort of colours, our branding, all of our colours. You'll see it in our newsletters and our website, you'll see these colours. So we've done a whole hour dedicated to our colours, blue and yellow. And at 11 o'clock, Adele will be back with another So Different pattern, which is the tulip dress, the one that we saw in the blue linen. So as I say, do make sure you get all of your messages in. Remember, we then go home, but at 12 o'clock, there is still another replay of yesterday's show, and we did so many bundles yesterday at 8 o'clock. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy how many bundles we managed to get in, so that will be repeated today at 12. Can I just let you know how you email in? For those of you that do want to come in and say hello to our lovely Adele and say wish her happy birthday, this is how you do it, and we'll make sure we read out all of your messages at 9 o'clock. studio@sewingstreet.com, studio@sewingstreet.com is your email address. Hi Kat, she's saying, hello, I'm here. She says, come and say hello, I've logged into the email, come and say hello. Of course, you can jump onto Facebook as well. Sewing Street TV is our official Facebook page, and you can message directly into the studio. We've got the Facebook page open as well, so we can come and say hello. Good morning, Poppy. Is it our Poppy? Oh, different Poppy. Oh, thank you. Right, we'll read your message out, Poppy, in a bit. It's for Adele. Amazing. Right, so can I just quickly mention, before we start creative grids, the early bird with Rebecca Reed was one of the best early birds ever. Just to be able to have fat quarters from William Morris, I find exciting. And even though the price point is no longer at that discounted price, I still can't believe how great value for money it is. I was only in one of the very famous department stores the other day where there were cushions of William Morris. I mean, quite sort of small, ordinary size cushions, and they were £50 each. £50 each. And it had a plain colour on the back, a zip across, and they were £50 each. And then I heard that we were doing these fat quarters, and I could not believe the price point that we were supposed to be going to anyway. So I asked Kat if there's any left, and if there is, then can we please show it, because I haven't had the chance to look at these properly, and they're beautiful. I have got a set actually at home, because I know that those of you that know John Scott, he's bought some, so I've collected it for him from a warehouse. So I said, right, it gives us an excuse that I've got to come and see you for a coffee at some point, because I've got your fabrics, John. So these are absolutely beautiful. You have got all of your iconic and classic William Morris prints, and the price point on this is still brilliant. Bearing in mind, we did a bit of a price comparison, and you saw, Kat, when I say you, Kat, our producer, how much was it that you saw it for on the web? £78.50. Oh, here we go, I can show it to you. I just love that, Strawberry Fever, it's just amazing. So, there you go. We looked again today, it's there, it's the same fat quarter bundle, it's £78.50, which doesn't surprise me. Look at how much you can do with this. I know that Rebecca Reed literally gave you inspiration for half an hour. She was telling you loads of different ideas. I saw her using it with the binding and using the complementing colours. I just love this big strawberry thief print. It's one of the most famous, it's one of the most popular. I would have that as a cushion front. Isn't it gorgeous? Even if you just frame it and you could do some hand embroidery over the top of it. Right, are you ready to see our price? If you find it on the website, if you go to www.sewingstreet.com, if you type in William Morris into this top search engine, it will take you to Jewellery Maker. You've gone to the right place. We're still sorting our own websites. This is our sister channels at the moment, but it's still sewingstreet.com. If you go down to where it says the fat quarters, William Morris, there you go. There it is. It's $59.99, which I understand, look, is still a considered purchase. You still, you know, if you don't really know, well, actually, I know so many people who do know William Morris. For those of you who don't, please have a look at how much you can pay for small toiletry bags or small little storage boxes, how much you pay for small cushions or purses, bags. You could do amazing patchwork with this, and they all work together absolutely beautiful. It's a really good way of, when I say getting a little bit of a taster, I just want to remind you, they are fat quarters, which is half of your half metre. So if you work this out, you're getting 3 metres in total. So it's still a lot of fabric, isn't it? And these are some of the most iconic prints. They're absolutely beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So just to remind you, if you do want to speak to the customer service team and you want the code, it's P for Peter, E for extra, U for umbrella, I for indigo, 69. Brilliant. Thank you, Kat. What's that again? Just say it normally. PEUI 69. Thank you. So I just wanted to remind you about those because they are amazing. They are absolutely amazing. It's still, I would say that's still like an early bird price, isn't it? Compared to what you can pay elsewhere. We did do it at $49.99 a couple of days ago, and there were a lot of you who took advantage of that. So well done if you've already got those on the way. But it's still a brilliant, brilliant price point for anybody who missed it. You've still got a chance to get those. We're down to the final few. I can't remember ever having William Morris fat quarters. Even in the day, we've never had them at Sewing Street, but I'm thinking about years ago, lots of us worked for a company called Sewing Quarter, who you may have found us from. And even then, I don't think we had fat quarters of William Morris. It's crazy. It's amazing value. So, also, just want to mention, we've had so many messages coming in about different pressing mats. We've got the June Taylor one, the square and blocker, and we've got the cut and press, which are both out of stock at the moment. We've been talking about pressing an awful lot, well, all week, every day we talk about pressing. Whether you're dressmaking or quilting, whether you're bag making, whether you're doing any sewing whatsoever, pressing is a really, really important part of it. It's as important as having a sewing machine is having, you know, your mat and your iron. And what I love about this is that it's so portable. You don't need to get your family ironing board out. You don't need to have ridiculous amount of space. This could be, you could set up your station, even if you have your cutting mat. It's really lovely and thick, so it's going to protect your surface. But what I love about it is that it's easy to transport. If you're sewing on the move, maybe you're going to stay at relatives, or if we, fingers crossed, get to go to any workshops or any classes soon, how good is this? Just keep in your sewing machine bag, keep it in your craft bag, ready to go, and you don't need to use the communal iron. You don't need to, get your big ironing board out. It's perfect, and it's still a great size. In fact, it's bigger than the other two I think that we've used. And you've got all of your centimetres on there. You've got your 60 degree, 45 degree, your 30 degree angle, all there as well, and it is from lovely Prim. So obviously, it's great quality as well. Just for anybody who's messaging in asking about any of our pressing mats, I'm not sure when. Of course, they'll be on reorder when our June Taylor ones will be coming in. I think they're more expensive than this, if I'm not mistaken. They are more than £25, aren't they? So this is a great price as well. And it's nice and easy to just fold up. I know the other two that we have got a solid back, which is great. And it has its benefits of having a solid back, but also if you are just doing this on the move and on your desk or on your dining table, wherever you are sewing, wherever you are crafting, It's great and lovely and portable. It's 90 centimetres by 60 centimetres for just £24.99. So it's a great size as well. The back of it, you can see, it is really lovely as well. It's going to protect your surface. That's just £24.99. If you do want to come and say hello, thank you for all of your messages. There's a lot of people who have been sending in messages for Adele because it's her birthday today. So we want to be able to wish her well and send her loads of, we want to be able to read out loads of messages at 9 o'clock. So if you want to have your say and say hello to her, please message in studio@sewingstreet.com, studio@sewingstreet.com. I'm talking very quietly because she's literally in the dressing room down the road, so she can probably hear me through the wall. But come and say happy birthday. Oh yeah, I know. Adele's been working alongside Laura from So Different. She's actually been speaking to her on Instagram, which I think is so lovely as well. Laura, who made the patterns, you may have met before. She's been on the show a couple of times, and oh my word, her designs are just so unique. Her instructions are really, really thorough and really clear, and especially with the guidance from Adele, they're very achievable even for beginners. If you desperately want either of the dresses, I would check out on the pattern nice and early because they are always sellouts. Always very popular. Just type in SEW, So Different on the website and you'll be able to find all of the dressmaking patterns available. Today we're doing the tie belt dress and the tulip dress. Brilliant. Okay. Now, we are going to be talking creative grids this show, and just before we jump into the creative grid rulers, let's talk about storage for them as well. Now, we love these hooks. The hooks behind us are from a certain Swedish shop, and they're from the kitchen section, which is great because they do work really, really well that you can hang them flat. The one thing that I would say with any of your rulers is to store them flat. I don't have the space really to do this. If you've got a dedicated sewing room, brilliant. But if you do want to keep them, on your desk, if you want to keep them on your surface, then these are brilliant also. These are from Millwood. I will take these out. I mean, we've got all of these rulers displayed in here. But they're solid wood, really lovely with extra little feet pads on the bottom, so you are going to protect your surface. 4 slots, smaller ruler rack. If you are starting out and you've got a few creative grids, it's only £10.99, and that is a really lovely, solid ruler rack. If you are investing in lots of different quilting rulers and creative grids especially, I know it can be quite an investment. You want to look after them. If you look after them, they'll stand the test of time. They really, really will. Don't be putting them in bottoms of drawers or anywhere that they can bend or snap because you don't want them to get damaged or chipped. You want to be able to use them time and time again. Just £10.99. Now, that is great, but don't really do this very often. I wouldn't necessarily check out on this one just yet until you see the other one. The reason I say it is because, right, let me show you the size of it. You might not want a huge one. Oops. You might want a bigger one, or you might want a smaller one. But look, this is virtually, let me actually have a look. I actually think this is double the size. Yeah, virtually double the size. And look at the price. It's £1 more. £1 more. How crazy is that? So for double the size, I thought it was going to be double the price, but it's not. So surely, considering the amount of wood, you would presume that it would be more. Hence why I say, look, you may as well go for the bigger one because you are going to expand your ruler collection. When you start using one creative grid, you'll be hooked. They save so much time. They save so much guesswork. If you hear Delphine's top tip, it's always measure twice, cut once. With creative grid rulers, they are fantastic. They remove that maths for you. But we do need to store them correctly. So I just thought I'd let you know both of these ruler racks are limited. This one in particular, very limited. We're in single figures already. It's just £11.99, so I'm presuming that will sell out today, especially with the deals that we've got going on. We've got a great deal on creative grid rulers, which we will start with. So that's £11.99, only a pound more. Fantastic. I know that Adele has been looking at these this morning, and she asked, no pressure, to her husband who might be watching at home, but she says, oh, I've asked for a rotary cutter for my birthday. I wonder if there'll be one there when I get home. She says, I've never done quilting, never done patchwork. And she was like, oh, how's this work? How's this work? So what I love about them is that even if you have been sewing for years, the great thing about the community and the channel is that hopefully we're going to get dressmakers into quilting, we're going to get quilters into doing bag making, try a bit of everything. It's good to be able to use the skills that you have already and try something different, and you'll love it. So we'll start with the deal. We have got, from Bank Holiday Monday, one of the deals back. This was one of the most popular purchases during the Bank Holiday Bonanza that we did last Monday, where you're getting 2 creative grid rulers with a saving. Now these are 2 from one extreme to another, one of the biggest creative grid rulers that we stock to one of the smallest. Now, they work sort of hand in hand. It's brilliant to be able to have both. Obviously, you don't want to be cutting your little 5-inch squares with this one, which is 20. This is a 20-inch square. It's absolutely huge. You get a lot of ruler there for your money. Just starting out about creative grids, they are designed by quilters, especially for quilters, so they know exactly what we need as crafters and quilters. They've thought of everything. If you buy quilting rulers, you might find that you have to put stickers underneath to make them less slippy. Sometimes they can slip, or you might need to put some like grippy spray on them. What I love about these is that they're not stickers underneath. Can you see all of these circles? Now, sorry if anybody who knows all about this, I'm going to sound like a bit of a broken record this hour, but these circles, which you can just about see on the camera there, can't you, Paul? Just about see these circles. They're not stickers, they are built-in non-slip grips. They're not going to scratch off, they're not going to damage your fabric, they're not stuck on, they are built in, and I think that's the game changer, because the great thing about creative grids is that they are extremely accurate. They will help with your precision, but also your safety. When you're working with a rotary cutter, which we'll talk about in a bit, they're very, 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 very sharp, and you've got to be careful. So safety is a big element for creative grids. But what's great about this is that you can glide it across your fabric nice and easily, but it's only when you apply pressure onto those non-slip grips that then you've got great stability. So if you're using it on any fabric, you're going to be able to see it completely. It's obviously transparent, so you can see all of the markings. Let me put some fabric underneath it, in fact. Can I show you the price, by the way, on these? Because they are... The price on these is absolutely brilliant. You're saving £10 today, and you do get both of the rulers. They are ones that you're not necessarily going to need to purchase again. Once you've bought creative grid once, that's it. You are sort of, as long as you look after them, you're sorted. Now, I wanted to turn this way, because one of my favourite features on this is that they cut out all of the maths for you. You don't need to be working out. It's all very, very visual. Those of us that are creative people, we're normally more visual learners, and it's all there on the ruler for you. So you've got markings throughout the whole of the ruler in both black and white markings. So depending on what fabric you're looking at, you're going to be able to see those markings very, very clearly. The best thing about having the 20-inch square is that you're really easily going to square up some massive blocks. Or how about if you're doing the backs of quilt or contemporary fronts of quilts, where you just want some big solid colours, or with the blue and yellow later on, just doing big squares of blue and yellow as the back of quilts is going to look brilliant. You've also got a really lovely, very, very clear diagonal line running through all of the centre. One of the features of creative grids, which I'll talk about throughout the show, is the turnaround feature. So the white circles that you can see along the top of the ruler and down the right hand side are all in full inch increments. Now, a lot of us are working with 2.5, 4.5, 9.5, and my maths sometimes isn't great, to put it politely. So now if I turn it round with the turnaround feature from Creative Grid, I'm now instantly working with my 1/2 inch increments. So in the black circles, you can see it's 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, and so on and so forth. And that again is down the side of the ruler. So I love that feature about it. Talking about being a visual learner, on the bottom, you can see that it's got a QR reader. We've all got quite familiar with these over the last few months, haven't we? You don't need to buy a special app on your phone. If you've got a smartphone, simply hold your camera of your phone over that reader and it will direct you straight to the Creative Grid YouTube channel and it will show you different ways of using it. The reason they're called Creative Grids is that you can get creative with it. You can absolutely get creative. Have you got one there? Did you say, do you want me to show everybody? If you're at home, do not message Kat right now. Because it will come up on the telly. You watch, Joe and Liam will be messaging you now. Thank you, Kat. Right, so I'm just on the camera on her normal smartphone. As soon as I do that, there you go, straight away, it will take me to the YouTube channel where, there you go, it's going straight to your demo from Creative Grid. It's that easy, which is brilliant, and it's the exact ruler. And that's exactly the same as using the smaller ruler. They've all got these QR readers, which is brilliant. We'll have a look at that again to remind you in a bit. The smaller ruler, your 6-inch squared, if you're working with smaller squares like this, you don't want to necessarily be lugging around a massive cumbersome 20-inch ruler, do you? If you're cutting a small 3.5-inch square, I can very, very quickly and very easily navigate from this point here, that is still on my 3.5-inch line, my 3.5-inch line here. I can simply make some really, really quick and easy cuts with the smaller ruler to get accuracy and precision. So we really, really love these two sizes, and we're still offering that great discount of £10 a day, just £54.98. So check out on those. If you do a lot of larger blocks, that's fantastic. They're available separately if you are using just one, but yeah, for the two, it's brilliant for the deal that you're doing today. Oh, just while I'm talking about the smaller square, this is fantastic. You will hear us talk a lot on the show about rotating cutting mats. I think they are brilliant. So this one comes obviously in like 2 parts. They slot together so they don't move. The bottom part of it is like a spongy. Ours is been well loved and well used. So straight away, that isn't moving. The top part is only allowed to spin around full 360. The benefit of that is, here's my piece of fabric. You might want to keep that exactly where it is. If you're making any cuts with your ruler and your rotary cutter, how many times have you seen people, for example, doing this? Trying to do all these funny angles so they're not cutting towards their body. It's really, really important that when you're cutting with a rotary cutter, you are simply cutting away like that. I know I went off using my ruler, but the great thing about this is then if I spin it, I'm not moving the ruler, I'm not moving my fabric, I can then cut really accurately and really precisely, check that it all pulls away, and then that's my perfect 4.5-inch square without actually having to change my body position, without having to move my fabric, so I've still got the precision without having to move the ruler, especially if they've got the non-slip grips, they do sort of hold in position. But it's really lovely and easy to rotate it, especially with smaller pieces. This is a 12-inch square. So it's great, isn't it? 12-inch blocks are quite popular, so if you are doing smaller pieces to go in a 12-inch block, ideal, absolutely ideal. £32.99, and again, we love this. We use it all the time. You probably will see it a lot on the show. You'll hear a lot of our guest designers talking about it. So I just thought I'd mention, especially if you're working with rulers and rotary cutters, the rotating cutting mat is brilliant. Sally Ann Harrison loves it. It's probably the first thing that she asks for when she comes in. We say, do you need anything from us? Rotating cutting mat. That's the first thing that she'll always say. I also just wanted to mention, what was that, Kat? Oh, fab. eagle eyes on the website, checking out on the So Different dressmaking patterns. If you go to www.sewingstreet.com, you'll see our Watch Live section there. Past that, you can shop catalogues, you can see the sewing machines at the top, or if you carry on scrolling down, all of the creative grids are there. There's so different patterns, the brand new fabrics, there's so much on that website. We are extremely limited on the ruler rack, the larger one. Extremely limited. That is about to sell out. So if you do want to shop ahead, I know that we won't necessarily get through them all today. If you type in creative grids on Facebook, you will be able to see it. Now I've cut this square really small, so this isn't probably going to be ideal, but this, is a game changer. I always, when you're doing lots of half square triangles, especially as a beginner, the one thing that I found quite difficult was getting accuracy in my 1/4 inch seam. And if you're doing things like half square triangles, if you're doing, well, any patchwork really, 1/4 inch is something that you will hear a lot and you use all the time. This is ideal for doing bigger squares as well, bigger squares if you're working with larger squares. But actually, do you know what? You can use this for anything. So it's got these pointed corners, the pointed edges on each end. It's from Creative Grid again, which means you've got that lovely non-slip grip all the way through. If I point that into the corner, that will fit lovely into the square. And if you imagine that you have got a huge 12-inch square, let me check actually, yeah, 12-inch square, it will work perfectly. I'm going to use it onto here instead so you can see it a bit clearer on the cutting mat. So if I line up the point onto the corner of my block and the same again on the other, and you draw between, there's a little gap in between, and you use your pen to draw in between. And what I would also do actually, depending on how confident you are, as I say, when I started out and I'm really trying to get my eye and I'm a 1/4 inch, draw it. So the either side of this ruler, you can draw another line. And that is from the center to the outer side, perfect 1/4 inch. Obviously, depending on, be careful on what the size of your nib is, just have a quick measure. But if you're then drawing along here, if you're doing half square triangles, you would then sew either side, so sew on those 2 lines that you've just drawn and then cut through your center line, and it just helps you as your 1/4 inch gauge. Basically it's 15 inches in size. Another way of using this, Kat has started using it for her English paper piecing. So let's just pretend that this is a hexagon. If you're using this on your hexagon, if you're lining that center bit up with the end of your hexagon or any of your shapes for your EPP, if you then draw round, you're going to get your perfect 1/4 inch seam allowance to wrap your fabric around your template. So I think that's a really good way of using it as well. We had the smaller option and that's completely sold out. For foundation paper piecing maybe. Oh, I think the smaller one is on the website, it just didn't arrive here. And I love the smaller one, that completely sold out when we launched it with Sally Ann. She loved it as well. So they are fantastic. I know that it might be a bit of a gadget, but I love a gadget. Anything that's going to help you along with your cutting and your seam allowance, I think is always a win-win. So it's just £15.99. Hi, Alan. Alan, we are working on it. Good question. We are working on it. As soon as we get our new system in, which fingers crossed will be soon, we'll be able to do split payment, which is so exciting, Alan. And for anybody else who's wondering as well about split payments, it is in the process. It is happening behind the scenes. Elliot, hint, hint, hint. No pressure, but chop, chop. Elliot, who has been helping us with all of the technical bits and bobs around in the studio, he came on air and said hello to us the other day, which is lovely. Well, actually, the camera's sort of set up for my height, and I'm 5 foot nothing really. And Elliot came on, and you just saw, I think, like the bottom part of his head. But yes, he came and said hello. So he is in the gallery today, and he said, I'm working on it. Brilliant. That's all we ask. My favourite Creative Grid rulers by an absolute mile are the Stripologies. You've got the Stripology as well, haven't you, Kat? The XL is, brilliant. Should we do that one first? because the Stripology XL, I think it will probably be one of your most used rulers. I'm going to just put some fabric underneath it so you can see some of the markings clearer. Now, obviously, if you've got lots of fabric to cut, when you start reading patterns that say you need 400 squares, 200 strips, you need 100 of these triangles, it starts to get a bit, oh my word, this cutting is going to take me ages. And it does take a long time. A big part of quilting and patchwork is in the preparation. I think I've put a picture on once or twice before of Kieran, my husband, do my cutting for me because I just don't enjoy it. He's really accurate. He's very good at doing it, and I'm not so good. Whereas with the Creative Grid rulers, well, they say on the front here, it will reduce your cutting time by up to 75%, which is a game changer for me because I want to get sewing, but I still want that professional finish. It's so important to have the right cuts to be able to get the results that you want. So yeah, that is brilliant, isn't it? It reduces 70% of your cutting time, which is crazy when you think about it. How much more time am I going to have to sew, to make different projects, to try different things? I could probably get more sleep at night, or I could probably have time to go and do some more cooking, or spend time with my family, which is so lovely. So inside here, don't throw this away. I lost mine, so I'm speaking from experience. Please do not throw this away because this is really, really handy. It just looks like a little leaflet, but actually inside you can see it is your instructions. The great thing about Stripology is that you can sort of pick it up and just start cutting. But what I love about these is that they give you some really great hints and tips along the way and how to cut your full yardage, your full meterage into strips. Of course, it isn't just for cutting strips. You can do a majority of your cutting here. You can cut strips into squares, squares into triangles, strips into diamonds, diamonds into hexagons. Your cutting possibility is endless. There is so much cutting that you're going to be able to do. You'll use it for virtually all of your cutting. Here it will talk to you about how using the 60-degree line on here, you can cut 60-degree triangles. You can cut so much from here, which is fantastic. Now, with the extra large Stripology, they've combined two of their most popular Creative Grid rulers into one. So they've used your original Stripology ruler and your squared Stripology ruler. So you can see the squares in white, which are your 1/2 inch increment squares from 4.5 inches to 12.5 inches. The full inch increments are your solid black lines. I'm not going to do a full demo because I've just noticed the time and we have got so much that we're going to do, so we'll do a quick pit stop, but I've done loads and loads of demos on these before. You simply line it up along the bottom groove, along the bottom line. You can be really, you can see that really clearly. As I say, there's black lines and white lines depending on what fabric you're using. As long as you've got your fold at the bottom, your straight edge at your raw edge at the top, or your folded edge if you keep folding at the top, your double fold. Always cut at the 0 mark first to make sure you're getting a nice straight edge. They're all little slits between, well, at every 1/2 inch increment, you've got a slot to put your rotary cutter in, so you can cut very quickly, very efficiently. The whole 1/2 meter is really folding it over. Of course, you can cut through multiple layers without having to move your fabric or without having to move your ruler. So whereas before you would have to stop, reposition, work out, measure twice, cut once, whereas this, it's so accurate, they've done all the hard work for you. They've even put you a little key at the bottom which will say 1.5 inch cuts follow the stars, don't have to work them out, 2.5 inch cuts, which I know a lot of patterns call for, follow the squares. They've also added on a couple of additions where you've got a 1/4 inch dashed line, if I move it across, then you might be able to see. So there's the 0 line. Just off there, you've got a dash line of 1/4 inch. Next to that, you've got 1/2 inch increment. And then this line here is your 3/4. So if you're thinking, right, I've got a pattern that's calling for 2 3/4, you would butt the end of your fabric up to the 3/4 line, and then make your cuts accordingly. So, I mean, there's even space to do some really intricate cutting and some really unusual cuts. It does have very, very clearly marked your 60-degree angle, which is another new addition for the extra large Stripology ruler, and your 45-degree angle running through. If you spin it round, the turnaround feature is still on this one as well. You've got your blocks. So if you want to square up any of your blocks, you can also do this, which normally we have got the Stripology squared available, but if you do trim up a lot of blocks, you can do that also with this ruler. 4.5-inch squares up to 12.5-inch squares, and then on the reverse side, as I said before, you've got the black solid lines for your full inch squares. I'm going to have a bit of a play with these as well, because I know that I often talk about similar things, whereas there's so much you can do with them. I saw a YouTube demonstration. There's so many videos on YouTube of how to make your bias binding, there's so much that you can do with it. And there's so much support, there's great YouTube videos, not just from Creative Grid, from so many people in America. They used, obviously, the quilting world in America is massive. There's a lot of online content for these. They are fantastic. That's your Stripology XL. Of course, if you are using this one, the only thing that I would say is make sure you've got a big enough cutting mat. When I got mine, I had to invest in a new cutting mat because mine wasn't big enough. It was one of the first things that I was told, actually, get the biggest cutting mat that your space will allow. And I thought, well, I haven't got a designated sewing room, so I'm just going to buy an A4 one. And actually, I should have just bought a big one to start with, because you can store it under the bed or store it under the sofa. You can still store it away. It doesn't need to live on the dining room table. But this is brilliant. I mean, our table is absolutely huge. But what's great about this is that we've got so much cutting space, so much cutting space. It's 90 by 60 centimetres. If I turn it over, you've also got your inches. Adele would say to me earlier, I don't know inches at all. I'm centimetres. She says, even in the schools now, we don't really know inches. We always know centimetres. So if you are imperial or metric, you're covered. It's self-healing as well. I would invest in a good self-healing quality mat. If you just give it a wipe with a baby wipe to clean it, if you've got any fibres or lint on it, then it will just almost re-engage those self-healing properties. So if you're using it with your rotary cutter a lot, you're not going to see indentations or feel them, which is fantastic. It's going to be sent to you as well, flat and safely posted to you, still under the same postage and packaging charge of £3.95. Just $37.99, and it's Millwood. You know, you've got the name and the brand to go with. So we had the extra large Stripology. Maybe you're doing smaller pre-cuts. If you are working with smaller sizes, it's quite cumbersome to have a massive ruler. This was the third in the series of Creative Grid's Stripologies that they launched. And what I love about this is that, again, you can do some really, really intricate cutting. So this is designed to be used with any fat quarters. You can cut any fat eighths. In fact, I'm not going to cut into this William Morris fabric, but let me just show you. So if you are cutting your strips, if you've got your fold here, I'm going to fold it again over, so I've got the fold at the bottom and the fold at the top. And again, what I would do, exactly the same as the other Stripology, I would first of all just square it up and make sure that you've got your nice straight edge, line it up on the top of the ruler, get your point at the bottom as well, and cut through the zero line. The difference with this is that you've got, well, you've still got your key of doing 1.5-inch cuts. Obviously, it's for a smaller width if you're doing smaller pre-cuts, but what I love about it is it's got the 1/8 of an inch and the 3/8 of an inch. So if you've got a pattern that calls for 2 7/8, for example, I would think, I have no idea how to cut that on my ordinary ruler. I have no idea. Whereas with these, you can very, very quickly know that, well, if I'm cutting a 2.5-inch strip, if I butt the end of my fabric up to the 3/8 line, then and cut through the 2.5, then I'm going to get a perfect 2 7/8 strip or square, whatever you want to do. Okay, you don't need to just cut strips of this. It can be squares, triangles, it can be it can be endless. You could do whatever you want. If I spin it round, we've got every 1/4 of an inch. So it's still obviously every 1/2 inch increment that the slits are, but your 0 dashed line is no longer on a cut. So I would still go through the first one just to square it up, and then I would shimmy it across to the 0 line, and then you can cut 1/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, 1 1/4 inch, really quickly and really easily, and it will remove the maths for you. You can also square up with it as well, so it does have a lot of benefits for £36.99. I was talking to a lady who's got the big Stripology, and she didn't necessarily think that she would need the mini as well. But actually, how much more portable is this if you're going to classes or workshops? If you are working with smaller pre-cuts, then this is very, 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 very handy indeed. So it's £36.99 today. And once again, we've done extensive demos on this in the past, but there is so much content online. Just type in Stripology Squared Mini and you'll be able to see lots of videos online. Okay. We've obviously got all of the rectangles, we've got the squares on the website, we've got the Stripology Squared available as well. But they're called creative grid rulers because you can get so creative. You can do so many different blocks. So, should we do the kitty corner, which is, right, let me try and find it. I think it's this one. We did this with Sally Ann. This is to create this shape here. This is one of our latest additions to Creative Grid. Around the edge you've got this non-slip grip, which is actually 1/4 of an inch around the edge, so you've got a lovely very, very clear 1/4 of an inch mark, and all of the instructions are actually on the ruler. Let me put this fabric underneath so you can see it. So here it says if you want your finished block size, to be 1 inch, then you need to cut 2 inch by 2 1/4 inch. So everything is there that you need to know on your ruler, plus you have got your instructions. Now, Sally Ann and we made, well, I can't claim it as my own. Sally Ann made this block and put them together. And let me see if I can show you what it looked like. Was it Bank Holiday Bonanza? I think it was Bank Holiday Bonanza Day, you know. But also what we worked out is that it looks a bit like a kite, doesn't it? So you could do some sort of quilt as kites with this as well. It makes a really lovely sort of kite shape. I'm not sure why it's called Kitty Corner, but it is brilliant. You literally just place it along the lines that it will say in the instructions, make your cut to make yourself a lovely block like this. That's £25.99. The hexagonal trim tool, this is one I believe that I think Wendy's used this before, if I'm not mistaken. I know that John Cole Morgan loves this ruler. You have got all of your rounds. It's hard to show you on the green, but you can see here's round 1, round 2, round 3. Round 1 is there, sorry, round 2 is here, round 3, it's all very clear. That's your 4-inch hexagon. So if you do cut lots of hexes, or if you want to do ones like this, that's cool, isn't it? They've got some great inspiration for this on YouTube as well. This is the great thing about Creative Grids. You can create your perfect piece hexagons with 2-inch, 4-inch, or 6-inch finish centers by squaring up each round of strips as you go. So it's still got the non-slip grips. It's also got little holes throughout. I was trying to think of a nicer way of describing it, but they are just little indents, little holes. So you can mark with your pen, with your marking tool, each of these points as well. Sorry that I am skipping this. I'm just so aware of the time that I do not know. Since we've been in this new studio, we said time just flies so quickly. Please have a look on Pinterest, have a look online, have a look. Just type in the hexagon trim tool, have a look on our YouTube channel. I know that John Cole Morgan, he's done, again, so many demonstrations with these as well. They need an hour each because they are so creative. There's loads that you can do. We normally do dedicate one creative grid to a project or a show. So this is more like a bit of a roundup. Log cabin is one that we all know. Oops, I keep dropping them all. So log cabin is let's do the normal one first. So your log cabin is probably one of the most traditional blocks. This is one I haven't got the instructions for. Please don't lose them because they're great to have all of your instructions. Just going to move this out of the way. All you need to do is create your first round. So you have your first square and you stitch a strip, which will tell you how wide to cut them. It says on here. Your centre square cut 2.5 inch, and then cut strips that are at least 1 3/4 wide. That's all you need to do. Once you've sewn around that first one, you place your centre square here and you make your first cut. And then when you've done your second round, so on and so on. So it's really, really great. That's to do your log cabin or your courthouse steps. It's just depending on what fabrics you're using to create and you know the placement of your fabrics to create the different looks. It talks all about it in your instructions that you'll get. Can you see the frosted edge all around the outside? It's including your 1/4 inch seam allowance, which is all in that non-slip grip. This is also your half log cabin centering square. So you don't just do a log cabin with this. You could do a log cabin, you can do courthouse steps, and you can also do a half log cabin, which if you put them together, I haven't got the pictures here to show you, but they look incredible. Log cabin is one of the most popular quilting blocks. It's really, really classic. And the ruler makes it so much easier to do, but you can get really creative, especially with different fabric placement. That's your 8 inch log cabin trim tool. The curvy one, oh, I've got the pictures to show you here. So look, if you get scared of curves, can you believe that this is all with straight edges? These are all made out of strips and it gives that illusion of the curve, which is fab. It's so good because I know a lot of people get scared of sewing in curves. It creates the illusion of curves with the curvy log cabin trim tool. So you sew 4 blocks together to create your circle basically. And this will be big enough to do 8 inch, I believe, 8 inch blocks. Yeah, 8 inch blocks, £22.99. Once again, all of your instructions are actually on the ruler as well itself. Keep hold of this, but you do have some really, really clear marks. Once you've got the hang of it and you read your instructions, once the ruler will help you and guide you along the way. Just £22.99. There are so many other rulers that are available on the website. It's definitely worth over the next few minutes, whilst you're checking out, having a bit of a scour through and what you can use that free P&P for essentially for the rest of the day. If you've opened your order and you've paid £3.95, then it is, well, free P&P then for the rest of the day for you. Make the most of it. Well done if you got the ruler out. The larger one is now sold out. There is still availability on the smaller one, but have a look on the web and see what's there. Don't go anywhere though, because we have got the most beautiful So Different dress with our birthday girl Adele, so do not go anywhere. We're back with her right after this.
Did you know that if you shop with Sewing Street, you're only going to pay one lot of postage all day? That's one payment of £3.95, no matter what you're buying. And you can check out as many times as you like without having to pay another delivery charge. So shop online at www.sewingstreet.com, or you can order via our call centre, which is 0800 001 4433.
To seam ripper. My favourite piece of kit with the sewing is the seam ripper. Hello, I'm Janice from Birmingham. I specialise in dressmaking. I used to run a children's shop and I love making children's clothes. My mother encouraged me to sew from an early age. When we were young, we did dressmaking in school. My claim to fame was the sewing quarter. But I'm now making also jumpsuits for ladies and men of all shapes and sizes, and it seems to be going for the festivals around the country. See you on the show!
Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying one postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping.
Hello, I'm Kerry from Living in Loveliness and I'm delighted to be part of the Sewing Street team. I'm based in Wolverhampton and I absolutely love working with fabulous fabrics. In particular, I love working with fat quarters and showing you how to get the most from your scraps. I love bringing communities of sewists together and encouraging people to sew for greater causes. Most recently, we have been sewing for our NHS and key workers. I look forward to bringing you hints, tips and techniques. I'll see you soon.
Hi, I'm Debbie Shaw, and as a professional sewer, I really know how important it is to use a high quality thread. Well, you think about it. You spend a lot of money on your sewing machine, you'll spend a lot of money on fabric, and you'll spend a lot of time sewing. So why let your thread let you down? I know a lot of our designers and customers prefer to use Orfil thread. Now this is a family business. It was established in 1983 and they're based just outside Milan in Italy. They produce superior quality threads for domestic and professional sewers alike, and they've achieved worldwide success with quilters, sewers, embroiderers and textile artists who all appreciate the versatility and the strength of these threads. It's all made from Egyptian cotton, which is grown just at the side of the River Nile, and Orfil only use the long staple threads, which gives their thread that strength. Each one of these threads goes through 15 steps before it even gets onto a spool and then comes to you to use in your sewing projects. Now at Sewing Street, we've collaborated with Orfil and we've brought you two collections of threads. So we have the Quilters collection, and these are exclusive to Sewing Street. We've done a lot of research with quilters and these are the colours that you prefer to use. So we put a whole collection together for you. The second collection is the Essential collection. So this is for the homemakers, for the bag makers, for the craft sewers, for the dressmakers, and again these have been proven to be the most popular colours that you're going to use. So if you want your projects to last longer and your seams to be stronger, invest in some quality thread.
Oh, welcome back, welcome back. We got a brilliant hour for you now. It is Adele's birthday, which is exciting. We've got the gorgeous tie dress. We've got two so different patterns today, which are always very popular. I know that the eagle eyes, everybody on the website, have already been checking out on a couple of the patterns, which we absolutely love. We've had lots of cake already this morning. Adele, happy birthday.
Thank you, thank you.
How are you?
Good, good, good.
Do you like our new home?
Oh my goodness, it's amazing. I did do a big wow when I walked in. It's
when you eventually
incredible.
could get in. It's very secure, isn't it? Just banging on the door like, I can't get in. I thought we've left her out. It's a
The door was stuck, wasn't it? And I was just like, I'm sure I can see someone in there. But yeah, I'm really happy to be here today. I feel really privileged to be in the new studio.
Well, we did say, when we said, oh, you're going to be on today, and you said, oh, that's my birthday. We said, oh, we'll swap it for you then. And you're like, no, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, what a birthday experience. This is amazing.
Well, we've had cake this morning. There was half a cake left for anybody who would like some for their breakfast.
Yeah.
We've had a message from Shelley come in. Big happy birthday,
Oh,
Adele.
I love Shelley. She's my favourite. I work with Shelley.
Oh, okay. She said, what did she say? Sorry, Kat. She says, I'm up early.
Oh, good, good.
She says, I know that you've had a very incredibly busy week being back at school.
Yes.
Obviously, you're a science teacher, aren't you?
Yes.
How's that been?
Oh, it's been incredible, do you know. I've just been smiling all week. And I was saying earlier, it's so nice to hear the school busy again and laughter.
Yeah.
And it's like we haven't been away.
Oh, good.
Oh, it's lovely. And I've had some of the kids come back that I've taught before in the same classes. I'm meeting new children.
Oh, lovely.
So it's just so
nice to have a bit of normality.
Oh,
I
yeah,
suppose. So long.
definitely.
I've had loads of messages. Pauline. Hello, she says, happy birthday, Adele. She says, always so happy to see your demos. Love your dressmaking.
Thank you.
As soon as we heard that it was you doing it, was so excited.
Oh, brilliant, thank you.
Oh, and have a brilliant birthday, she said.
I can't wait to get home and see what my presents I've got.
Oh, yeah, I heard you want a rotary cutter, don't you?
Yes, I do. I've only ever used scissors, so hopefully the link that I sent to my husband has worked.
We've had loads of messages. In fact, we've had a very, very special message for you.
Oh, yes.
So, are you ready, Paul? We've had loads of messages come through, but we've had a really, really special message. So, have a watch of this.
Oh.
Hello, Mummy. Happy birthday. Hope you're having a great day and we are all so proud of you. Hello, Mummy. You're the best mummy in the world and thank you so much for what you've done. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Adele. You're looking good, doing really well. So keep up the good work. You'll notice we're wearing your me maids as well, so thank you for these as well. The ladies now will have, I've got a small surprise to hand over to you now, so I hope you like those as well. See you soon, keep up the good work, and happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday! I don't know whether you could hear that in the studio.
I could hear a little bit through. This explains why the other day I got home, I think it was Thursday, and they were all in me-made clothes.
Oh.
And I was going, look at you all us lot, all in handmade clothes. That explains it now. Oh.
Well, when we come off air, you'll have to watch it properly because honestly, I'm not surprised you're emotional. I watched it last night and I was like, they are literally the loveliest family. I went home and said to Kieran, why would you do that for me? Like, that's so lovely. So, happy birthday. If you want me, I can put them down under here for you.
Oh, they're so lovely.
Yeah, they're from your family.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, we've been so excited about that. But anyway, right, thank you so much. And I must say, your girls are absolutely adorable. They're so cute.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Gorgeous.
Oh,
So,
I don't know if I can concentrate now.
me neither, we're all emotional. So, while Adele calms down, should we have a look at the beautiful tie dress, which we've absolutely loved this morning. There's so many great features on this, and I thought it looks quite complex, actually. It looks like quite an advanced dressmaker's piece. Whereas actually, beginners, adventurous beginners, you absolutely can go for this, especially with the guidance that you get from this pattern. It's a really, really clear instructions, but also, especially with Adele's demonstration, you will be able to do this. It's got no zips, no fastenings. You don't need to worry about that. It's straight over the head. But what I love about it is that tie. It's got slightly dipped back, which I love as well. You can see we'll show you on the finished garment, and it's got that lovely finished tie which you can have as tight or as loose as you want, especially after the last 6 months and the fact that we're eating cake for breakfast. It's nice to be able to have it a bit looser, and I love the length of the arms as well. It's more sort of flattering, I think, to have that elbow length arm. All of the size guide is on the back of the pattern, which is in the description of the website, but we have put together some bundles for you. So £16 and 99 pence. I don't know whether Kat you'd be able to, because I'm holding these up and propping them up, I don't know whether you'd be able to grab the flowers, and we'll work out how we can put them somewhere on the desk. So let's start with, oh, this is lovely and autumnal. So it's actually polyester. We were trying to work out what this fabric is because it feels very, very suede-y. It's absolutely beautiful. It is your stretch suede. Now, it is probably more an advanced fabric to work with. I was talking to Adele earlier on, and she says if you are a complete beginner, maybe try one of the corduroys, but this would look brilliant even as the contrasting belt. You do get 3 meters of fabric in the bundle, which is enough to do the largest size, which the great thing about So Different Patterns, their size is 8 to 26, so you'll be able to do the largest size with it, and it does feel so, so lovely and soft. It's 145 wide. We do also have it by the 1/2 meter, but In fact, let's do it by the half metre next. That's a 3 metre bundle, which, as I said, is absolutely plenty to be able to do the largest size in the tie dress, which is a size 26. If you've got a different pattern in mind, maybe though, as I said, this is so lovely for autumn. Just half a metre for the belt, or if you are doing a smaller size and you don't need 3 metres. I know that Adele made a size 12, and I think, well, you sent 2.5 metres, Adele, I think.
There was loads.
Okay.
The wide sort
Brilliant.
of side of it. So 3 metres is ample, I think, for all the sizes, yeah.
Fantastic. Now, is your chance to get that by the half metre at £7.99. I think that is lovely for, even like I'm thinking like a gilet style, like a waistcoaty thing to go over the top of a shirt or something would look lovely. Or a lovely waterfall jacket. It's just so, so soft. Now, the fabric that you saw the dress made out of, and we will have a really good close look at the dress with Adele. There it is. You can see just at the top there. It's beautiful. It looks great, especially for autumn. It's got a bit of a, if you, you know, like old carpet bag style, which are really, really on trend indeed. A nice corduroy, it's lovely with a nice pair of knitted tights and big boots, winter boots. We're sort of getting to that weather now, aren't we? 3 metres is $49.99, and that is, as Adele said, plenty big enough to be enough fabric to be able to do the largest size. £49.99. By the half metre, we have available as well. See, I love that. I'm thinking of all sorts of different things you can make with this. Definitely secure that. I think this is brand new, you know. Brand new. I've never seen it prior to today. This is the first time I've seen it. It's 70% cotton and 30% viscose. It's a needle cord. Now, anybody who hasn't worked with a needle cord before, we will ask Adele any sort of problems that you might occur or how different it is to, you know, working with cotton. And if you have any questions for her, definitely get them in. This is 145 wide, £8.49 a half metre. Okay, just very quickly, because we want to spend as much time with Adele as possible. Let's do the green. Green is gorgeous. I know Adele's got her eye on this one. This is lovely. I'm imagining like a pinafore dress as well. This would be really pretty. It's like a pinafore dress. So you get 3 metres, perfect for the tie belt, $49.99. And actually, when I saw it on the photograph, it looks very, very smart. Whereas wearing it with a corduroy still is going to be lovely if, you know, going out for dinner or doing something like that. But it's also going to be lovely for every day, isn't it? Especially if you're going to the shops or doing anything where just want to be a bit warmer. Half a metre is available as well. You can get it by the half metre also. That's your 3 metre bundle for $49.99. But now available by the half metre. They're little floral prints. Can't really see from there. They look like hearts on my screen. But if I show you a bit closer, it's like a scattered floral print. It's really, really beautiful. You're getting half a metre, which is how wide, Kat? 145 wide, 145 wide is 100% cotton. That's £8.49 a half metre. Same again in Rouge, which is the one that Adele will be working with. That is amazing as well. Oh, I love a burgundy. I always think this colour, this rouge, is definitely going into Kat's autumnal show that she's scheduling at the moment. It's really autumnal. $49.99, it is 3 metres. Oh, do you know what? I've got a feeling that could sell out today, in fact. Already, I know a lot of people checked out before we bought it to air. By the half metre, your item code is going to be at the top of the screen in just a second. It's £8.49, I believe, a half metre. Yeah, there you go. And the colour's beautiful. £8.49 a half metre, 145 wide. Okay, so Adele, you're back. How are you feeling? All composed?
Yes. Get over all the excitement. I can't believe it. Can we
have a good look at the dress then?
Oh, the dress is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And when you said that it has an element of viscose in, it really helps with the drape of this skirt as well. And I know it's going to be comfortable to wear. I love a good tie belt because, like you say, you can have it as loose or as tight and really nip in that waist. But when I first started making this, a friend of mine said, it's really clever how the tie belt is attached to the dress.
Right.
And then I looked in the instructions and it is such a clever design.
I always lose tie belts. They go in the wash or something happens.
Yeah, and then they're not in the ironing pile, you left them in your wardrobe. So let me spin this around. Oh, if I don't break it.
Spin it.
Oh. There we go, that way round. So what we've got in the back, these are the only bits of shaping actually in the whole dress.
Right.
There's no bust darts on the front or no waist darts or anything. We've got 2 back darts here and the tie belt actually goes into that dart. So it's really nice as well because it pulls it straight from the back so you don't have any bulk at the back either, which is nice, so that you can have a jacket on and there's no sort of bulking from here, and it's just so lovely. And like you said, it's got a dip 10.
Yeah, I really like that, and I like the length of the sleeve.
Yes.
Now it has no fastenings, does it?
No, so it's perfect for a beginner sewer, and still a great project for like an intermediate or even experienced sewer as well. Yes, no fastenings. It's wide enough just to stick over your head, and it's comfortable as well. That if you know, sometimes by the end of the day you might feel a bit bloated after dinner, just undo it and you still look really smart. I love it. So yes, it's corduroy, which has a nap. So there's a special way. One way soft and one way is more rough.
Yeah.
So just make sure that you put, you know which way it is when you're cutting out so that it's in the right direction. But apart from that, it behaves like a really nice cotton.
Ah, that's good. So if you are beginning, you would probably go for one of the cotton cords instead of the...
But what you said about that having the tie belt, which is lovely, because that's what's actually on the pattern envelope. It's got a contrast. And then you could also do these parts here.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
You've got a little sleeve sort of trim. You could do that in the matching, or you could do the other way around, the brown dress with the floral belt.
Oh, absolutely. You can see on the front of the pattern, it's got the contrasting belt and sleeve. And then on the back, it's also got the same front of the tie belt, but then the lining almost, the bit inside of your tie is contrasting.
Yeah, so you can have it so that when it's moving, you can really see it. So it's a really beautiful dress. And like I say, I was talking to Laura, and all of her instructions are really plain and clear, always only two sides as well, so it's not overwhelming, especially if you're only new to dressmaking. It can feel really overwhelming when there's lots and lots of steps, but there's only one booklet that comes in with the pattern, and it's a maximum, how many of it? 13 steps.
Brilliant.
So, and that takes you through the whole thing. But the way that she constructs her patterns are always so unique.
Yeah, it's really, there's some beautiful, unique, unusual patterns that even if you go to the shops, you don't see garments like that, do you? It's really designer-esque, actually.
Yes, and it makes it really sort of a talking point. You know, when you're at work and someone says, I like your dress, and you say, yes, I've made it. And check out the belt.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm always doing that. I'm like, yeah, look at this feature. It's always the pockets as well. And Laura, later on when we talk about the tulip, good pockets.
Brilliant.
Pockets. Right, shall I get sewing?
Absolutely. So you've already pre-cut your fabric, and so to make sure that it's in the right direction with the nap on the pile.
So as I'm stroking it down that way, it's soft. It wouldn't really matter if you did do it by accident. It's only you that's going to really feel it. So you'd be like, oh, yeah, like that. But yeah, there's no real issue. So if it was the wrong way, please don't stress. And that's what I always say about dressmaking. A lot of people get very frightened to just get started. And I always say, just go for it. Even if you make a mistake, it doesn't matter because you've made that whole garment. You should be really, really proud of yourself. So I'm a big campaigner to get more and more people sewing.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes. And I'm always, as soon as someone says to me, oh, you've made that, and you could do it as well.
Do your girls sew?
They would like to try and start. I really should sit Evelyn down, my eldest. I think she's more confident now to be able to control the machine. So I think I'm going to have a go at that. Right, so what I've already done is I've put one of the tie belts in already to the dart so that you can actually see. And I have to say, I was a little bit worried. I thought, is this going to be difficult? But I did the first time and it was super easy.
Oh, brilliant.
So on the actual pattern, you've got the bust dart. I wonder if I've got that pattern piece I'm not sure, but it's got, not the bust dart, the back dart, and then there are 2 dots. Okay, so you need to transfer those, and where those 2 dots are, you cut. All right, so you actually cut.
Which is a bit scary, isn't it, cutting into your main pattern piece?
I know, I was a little bit worried, but then I just thought, no, Laura's patterns always take you through step by step. I shouldn't worry. So what's going to happen is this actual belt is going to slide in there, then you're going to fold it over and sort of encase it within that dart. So the first time I did it, I was like, wow, this is actually a genius idea. So I'm going to start with the belt. So it's a nice wide belt as well, so it's a real feature belt. So you haven't got to worry about having extra belts hanging around. I did a wardrobe clear out the other day and I found loads of belts. And I was like, do I need these?
Oh, I know. I love that it's attached. I always end up thinking, oh, I can't find the right belt for that dress. And it's like you say, probably just buried at the bottom of my wardrobe.
Oh, yeah. And then you get it on and it's the wrong shade and it's the wrong width.
Yeah.
So I do like that it's a really nice big belt. And when I actually tried that on and took photos, I put it on with my tights and my boots. Oh, it's going to be
I'm ready
perfect.
for that now. I'm ready for autumn weather, I think.
I love autumn.
I do love big chunky knits and nice boots and dresses like this.
We were talking at school the other day and I would talk about plants and I said to the kids how much I love autumn and their faces were really surprised. They were like, really? And then I said to them, that moment when you're walking through just all the leaves and they're crunching, oh, I just love it. Plus my birthday's in autumn.
Absolutely. How are you spending this afternoon? Because at least when we're waking up this early, you'll have the rest of the afternoon with your family.
Yeah, so my youngest girl's at dancing. So by the time I get home, they'll be home and presents will be ready to be open. And we just have a really nice, we've been doing loads of lovely walks.
Oh, yeah.
So we might go for a lovely walk, maybe a little tea shop.
Yeah, oh, beautiful.
Right, so the seam allowance of 1.5 centimetres are always included in Laura's patterns, which is also very good if you want to make adjustments, because it's a nice wide seam that if it feels a little bit more uncomfortable, a bit too tight, you can just take that off. But I always say, do take your measurements, even if you have used a so different pattern before, always take your measurements and work out which size with every dress.
I think it's a good habit to get into.
Yes.
I think the reason a lot of us get into dressmaking is through frustration of not being able to find, you know, dresses that are the right size. I can be 2 or 3 size difference depending on what shop I'm in.
Yeah.
And like you say, even with patterns, it's a good idea to check your sizing.
Yeah, and also, I always think with dressmaking, I don't worry too much about my sizing because I think, well, I'm making it. No one needs to know what size it is or anything. So, but do check. And it's always good as well to look at the finish measurements as well, because garments have a set amount of ease and we all like our clothes to fit slightly different. Some people might like it a little bit tighter, people might like it looser. So it's always useful. I always get my tape measure, find the final measurements always around the waist, because that's not where you want it to be constricting. And I wiggle at where they say that should be, and I always think, yeah, that'll be comfortable.
Yeah.
So I do that size. Right. Okay, and does it have an automatic cutter?
No, you need to pull it in.
Oh yes, there we go. There we are. Now, the one thing we do need to do is we need to snip our corners.
Okay.
So where I've turned here and here, we're just going to snip across. Actually, I'm going to use, can I use the fancy display ones?
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was allowed to
Yeah, I
touch them.
sharpened those, absolutely.
I wasn't sure if I could use the fancy display. Oh, it's so lovely. Okay, and then I'm going to turn that through. Now, the reason why we clip that is just get a really nice tight and clean corner to that.
Oh, and it does have a real definite corner. Like you say, it's a real statement belt, isn't it?
Yeah.
Big feature of the dress.
And when I'm always sewing my dressmaking, I've always got the iron out. So have it ready to go.
Okay.
And then what we're going to do is just press this. You don't need to top stitch this. Just press and you've got your lovely belt.
Is the cord all right to press? You're not going to flatten or disturb
No, because it's a very thin cord.
Yeah.
If it maybe was like a whale cord, I would probably always press from the inside.
Okay.
But this is a really nice, delicate width of cord. And it's, do you know what, as well? It's got a lovely drape to it, because sometimes cord can be quite thick.
Yeah.
Let me bring my board up. And it'd be lovely as a pinafore, a thick one, but a nice thin one like this is perfect for a dress. So I wouldn't have it on hot. I'd have it on about 2. There we go. Right.
I've had a question come in from Pauline.
Yeah.
She said, right, if I'm a bust size 14 and a bottom a 12,
Yeah.
do I need to grade between? Like, how do I make sure it's not baggy on the bottom?
Okay, so it all depends on the drape of the dress.
Okay.
And again, how much ease you would like at that point. Now, this, if I undo the belt, there is a lot of room there.
Oh, great.
Okay, but if you do want it slimmer there, yes, I would grade down. Just slowly take, don't do a sharp curve, just a nice gentle curve going from the 14 into the 12.
Right, okay.
But also, don't forget you've got that 1.5 cm seam allowance. So if it does feel a little bit tight, you can take that seam allowance out.
Yeah.
Just to maybe 0.5 cm.
Yeah, oh, that's a good point, actually.
Yeah, and that's what's lovely, having a good amount of seam allowance that makes it feel more comfortable. Right, I've got my belt. Now I've got to put it into the dart. So make sure that you match. You don't want one belt one way, one belt the other. So I'm going to have that pointing down. And all I'm going to do is
So when you say you
post that.
snipped, do you snip all the way between those 2 dots that you've drawn?
Yes.
Snip all the way?
Yes.
Okay.
So let me show you here. Can you see
Oh,
it on
yeah.
the camera? There's a big hole there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put this within that hole.
Ah, makes sense.
Now, it is slightly small, so all I'm going to do is just widen it. It doesn't matter which side, because it's going to be encased in the darts. So I've got that there, and I've got my seam on the bottom. So where the join is, it's on the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've put that in there. Now, this is where we just need to be really good with our pins, because you don't want half of the belt hanging out. Let's just be really thorough with our pins. So as I turn it over, you can see we've got the belt poking through there. Mm-hmm. Can that be seen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, we've got a very big dart, which I've already drawn on here. I did this last night so that it could show up on camera. So the dart goes from up here all the way down, over the belt, and then in there. So, like I say, I'm going to put lots of pins in this now. Let me think how I'm going to
Which
do
way
that.
do you pin? Do you pin vertically?
Well, that's the thing. When I first came on my first show, one of my friends texted me and went, I pin a different way to you.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, I just never even thought about how I pin. It was just how I'm comfortable. I know some people pin vertically, so that when they take it out, it's like
Easy
that.
to take out.
I don't really know.
No,
I've never
we
even
just
thought
do it,
about
yeah.
And do you know what else? Shelley, who was on earlier, she gave me an early birthday present of some clips. I've never used clips
Oh,
before.
what do you think?
Well, I haven't tried them yet. I've got them out of the packet and had a little play. I think they look almost like a bag of sweets.
Yeah, they do.
But I'm really excited, especially over the winter. If I'm going to, I really want to make a blazer over the winter.
Oh, nice.
That I can wear for work, and I think it's going to be perfect for that. You know,
Yeah.
with all the layers and
That's
things
it.
like that.
And if you're working with fabrics that you struggle to pin as well,
Yes.
then it's good.
Oh yes, if you've got any fabrics that you don't want to have any pin marks in, like leather,
yeah.
or even if you had a suede, pin.
The clips are good.
Would be perfect. So I'm quite looking forward to that. I've never used them. So I'm going to try this, Vicky. I'm going.
Go for it.
Is that vertical or horizontal? No, it's horizontal, isn't it?
It's like you say, that's a good way to be able to take them out. But you've put loads of pins in there, plenty of pins all across.
Yeah, just because I don't want to lose that belt. And then have to unpick. Although, don't ever feel deflated if you have to get the unpicker out. Every time I have to have the unpicker.
Oh yeah, that was the first thing you asked us for, wasn't it?
I saw it over there, I was like, is this mine? Can I use this? So I've put it here ready, because I know there'll be some points. So please don't be frightened, don't feel deflated. If
So you go from the outside of the dart, down
Sorry,
to the
let me show
point.
you. Ooh. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from the bottom.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to go up to the top.
Okay.
Now, I don't want to backstitch because I don't want any bulk sitting here.
Right.
So what I will do is I will reduce my stitch to about number 1 on my machine. Just do a couple of stitches, then put it back to 2.4, and then we'll be okay.
Right, okay.
And then again at the end, go back to 1. And I found that's the best way to do any darts because it doesn't leave any bulk.
Oh, good idea.
Because you don't want a big bulk on
No.
a bit where you've got to be nice and smooth. Right. Okay. Here we are. This is unusual as well, sewing standing up.
Oh, I know. And I think the desk's slightly lower than the other studio, isn't it?
But it's nice though. Well, it's become quite popular, hasn't it? Standing up desks.
Are you supposed to be on standing up desks in there then? Because they're really high in the gallery. You've got really... Paul demanded a new chair this morning, didn't you?
After he did
First
really
day.
great.
He did look really little though. He did look even smaller.
Oh. Here we go.
Couldn't reach the desk, could you, Paul?
Right, I'm coming to now the end of the dart. So just reduce my stitch length and just sew straight off.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And if you want to give it a really secure finish, if you're worried about it ever coming undone, you can just tie these ends before you snip them.
Okay.
So you can just get the 2 ends and do a few knots in there. But I've never really found any of my darts to come undone when I've done the reduced stitch.
Yeah.
But I know some people, we all dressmake in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I always say, just find a way that suits you. Makes you feel comfortable because dressmaking should be an enjoyable time.
Yeah.
You should just be proud that you've made something.
Absolutely.
Right, now you can actually snip that part off there as well, just to make it, actually, let me double check first.
Yeah, see that it's all in, right?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
lovely in there. And I'll just snip that part off. There we go, and press. So press as you go along. Don't be tempted to miss pressing. I know in the early days I did miss pressing and you come back to regret it.
Oh, you do. It does make such a difference, doesn't it, on your finished garment?
Oh, hugely. And it just helps make sure that all the pattern pieces line up as well. So just gives that extra professional look. So.
Loads of people loving the fabric that Dale's working with. I know that you had your eye on the green one as well, didn't you?
I've got such a love for green. So this time last year, someone said to me, what colour would you never wear? And I said green. Bought some green fabric, I've not looked back.
Oh,
love
it's
it,
absolutely gorgeous. Have a look on the website. You can have it available by the ½ metre or you can get the 3 metre bundles, which is great to do any of the sizes. I like that it's all in one pattern. You know, sometimes when you buy a dressmaking pattern that might be size 8 to 14 and then a size 16.
Yeah.
And you might be thinking, right, I don't know where I sit in that. Or you might have a friend that wants you to make one for them. Or we all change sizes, don't we?
Oh, yes. All of Laura's patterns, the So Different patterns, are really inclusive. Go up for a very big size range. And what is really lovely as well is all of the shapes complement every body shape.
Yeah.
I've made now 3 dresses and a jacket, and they've suited my body shape. So, and I can see my friends, like a couple of my friends have been texting me, oh, what pattern's that?
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. So I know it will fit them and I know they'll get on with it. So, right, I'm going to do my shoulder seams now. So this is the front piece, and as you can see, it's a really simple piece. No darts, no nothing.
Fab. That's so good.
So it's lovely for a beginner.
Whoops. It's great for loads of different fabrics as well, isn't it? Her patterns, I know there's suggested fabrics on the back, but there's loads that you can use. I mean, suitable for like denim, faux suede, needlecore, heavy cotton, linen you could do this in. Any medium weight fabrics, it's saying, really.
Yeah, on the front it's quite a drapey fabric as well, which would look lovely for a smart occasion like work.
Yeah.
But then you could do it in denim, which would look lovely with a pair of Converse.
Oh, yeah.
I love a denim and a Converse trainered
yeah, absolutely.
combo.
I love a wardrobe builder pattern, one that, right, you can do time and time again. Sometimes you get one that a definite occasion wear almost, whereas this is a real wardrobe builder. And I love a dress, especially if you're thinking, right, we were talking about jeans earlier on, weren't we? Just really, not enjoying wearing skinny jeans or any jeans at the moment, whereas a dress with a pair of tights and boots, it looks really smart, but it's really comfortable as well, isn't it?
Yeah, now, I didn't wear any dresses really before I started dressmaking. I always felt very done up, like I was going somewhere special.
Yeah.
People at work, you say, you go for an interview today if I was in a dress. But since dressmaking, I have fallen in love with dresses, and I would choose dress over trousers.
Yeah.
So all week this week at school, I've been in dresses, and I've loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Dress every time, and just casually as well.
Absolutely, like you say, with a pair of pumps and trainers and your Converse, it looked great.
Oh yeah.
So are you sewing down the side seams now?
So no, I'm just doing the shoulder seams.
seam.
So we're attaching the front to the back, because next thing we're going to do is put our sleeves in. Now, that might frighten a few people, because the other patterns that I've done have had like grown-on sleeves.
Okay.
But please don't worry. Please don't worry.
These are all great skills to learn along the way. Like you say, even if you're a beginner, brilliant, because it doesn't look like a beginner pattern really. But if you're an intermediate as well, you're still going to be learning.
Oh yes, with the whole darts, with the belt, yes, definitely. So I've done the shoulder seams. I'm going to leave that for a moment, because we have to add the trim to the bottom of the sleeves.
Okay.
Okay. Now, some patterns have a front and back part of the sleeve. This doesn't, so you haven't got to worry which one's the left sleeve, which one's the right sleeve. Just go for it. First thing we have to do is put the bottom, it calls the sleeve trim on the bottom.
So that's a separate pattern piece. Yeah.
Yes, and that's what I said earlier, you can make this in a contrast as well.
Lovely.
So that it's only a slight roll up, but it just has that little bit of extra finesse. So we put this on, so there's our sleeve.
Okay.
So this will be the part that joins at the top, and then this is the bottom, and that's where we're going to put this part here. So it's a straight line, all matches up perfectly, and pin. These pins are lovely.
Nice long pins, aren't they? And
Yes.
strong. They're great, especially going through the needle cord. My pins sometimes at home just can bend and not be sharp enough. They're lovely.
These are lovely, and they're easy to grab because you've got this head.
Yeah.
They're easy to grab when they're going through the machine. I'm too frightened to sew over pins. I know
Good.
some people do. I get so frightened.
Oh no, I know. We had it, and one, it can break your needle, which isn't great. But also, if you break a needle, it can fly off and hit you in the face. Kind of, I've heard some horror stories. So you just.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Now, this is a 1.5 centimetre seam here, but I was thinking as I made this up, you could make this seam a little bit smaller and you'll have a bigger turn up.
Okay.
So at the moment that's quite a small turn up there. If you have this seam smaller, you'll have a bigger turn up. So if you have a contrast in, you could really flash the sleeve. Right, so straight line. I love it when it's a straight line. Just whiz it through. But yeah, 1.5 centimetres again.
Right.
Oh, I put my pins the wrong way round. Oh no.
We've now made you like conscious of which way you're pinning. Sorry.
Do you know, I never even thought of it until you asked me. Which way am I a pinner? Oh dear, right.
Is that just to make it easier to take out at the machine?
Yes, so that when it's going through the machine, I always have the big part on the left-hand side, nothing really on this side, so it goes through the arm part easier.
Yeah.
And having it this way, I just then pull it down.
Right.
You can have it that way and then you can pull it out that way. There we go.
Seems to be behaving itself absolutely fine. You haven't had to change the needle or anything to a
No,
different
no.
needle.
It's a really nice lightweight cord, so it's going through the machine lovely. So again, it's great for a beginner. If somebody has made a few little dresses in the summer and now they're thinking of trying something that will get them through the winter, it's always a little bit worrying because obviously you're going to use thicker fabrics, probably a bit more challenging fabrics. There we go. And I'm going to use the scissors to snip that. And again, I've done that the wrong way. But that will go that way.
There's still party poppers all over the sewing machine, have you noticed?
Oh,
we tried to do it in sync with your family, but we couldn't hear in here. We need to play the video to Adele later on because it's honestly, it was such a beautiful message. It's just so lovely.
Oh, they look so cute. What day was it? Thursday when I got home. And they were all in their handmade. I even made my husband's shirts, t-shirts.
Oh, brilliant.
So, they're so lovely. When I've made them something, they're always twirling in it, the girls are. I've got to make them a PE jumper as well. So
that's brilliant.
I've got things already in a line.
Do they do sewing at school now?
No. Now, what's really upsetting is there is becoming a loss of technology within schools. And especially going back, we're doing no practicals whatsoever.
Right.
So what I did start before lockdown was we started a sewing club.
Oh, brilliant.
So some of the kids came back on a Wednesday after school and they started with pyjama shorts, scrunchies, little makeup bags. And it wasn't just one year group, we had year 10s with year 7s. And I said to them, this is your club, you choose what you want to do. And even we had boys and girls come, and when we got back to school last week, one of the boys, first thing he said to me, is sewing club on? And I was like, no, I'm really sorry.
Fingers crossed, it will all...
Yeah, so you have to ask Santa for a sewing machine. But yeah.
That's good though, at least they were interested and wanted to do it.
Well,
getting everyone inspired to make it.
It's always a conversation as well when I've got a dress on and the kids are like, oh, have you made that? I walked into a classroom the other day and this kid went, Miss, you made that, haven't you? And I said, yeah. And he went, I told you, to his friends.
Really?
Yeah. So it's a really nice conversation to have with them, to say, look, we can take our time. We don't have to just go fast fashion. We can do this.
Love it.
So I've put my trim on. Now I have pressed the seam up because what I'm going to do now is just press the seam over. But I'm not going to keep it that way because it will make sense in a moment why I've pressed that on the flats, because it just helps later on to fold up that one there. Okay.
So you're pressing the seam towards,
towards the head, and then I'm folding it over where that join is and just pressing that there, because that will help when we have to roll up the sleeve later on.
Brilliant.
Right, we're whizzing ahead of this now, aren't we?
How are we doing for time, Paul? 10 minutes?
Right, so shall we have a go at putting one of the sleeves in?
Oh, yes. Yeah, because like you say, we've not done that with a So Different pattern, have we?
No, because a lot of the sleeves have been grown in, so because the Tulip one as well is grown in, so it'll be good to show this here. Okay.
So what's the difference? This is a set-in sleeve.
A set-in sleeve, so you actually have the seam here, whereas this one that we're going to talk about later, it's the sleeve is already in the pattern piece.
I'm with you.
Okay, so let me put this here, because we can put that out the way. Okay, so here we've got the front and the back attached, and you can see almost the semicircle that is there. Now what I like to do is fold my sleeve in half, just put a pin where that fold is, so I know that's the middle, because we're going to match that up with the seam on the top. Okay, so now I'm going to open it. Okay, let me check that I've got the right sleeve. This is the thing, right there, this side. Right, this side here. I'm trying to make it as clear as possible.
No,
a
you
big
are.
piece
Thank
of
you.
fabric. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to match this one to here, right side to right side. Put that part on first, and then I'm going to slowly work my way out with lots and lots and lots of pins.
I was going to say that doesn't look, when you're looking at a convex curve and a concave, you think, how on earth is that going to fit?
Yes.
But it's just like easing it.
It is, and just take your time, lots of pins, just to hold each part on. So always start from the middle and move out. And that's the thing, once you start pinning, it won't lie flat anymore. So don't be alarmed if it's sort of ruching up and thinking, oh, that's not going to be right when it's on. Because if you look, it's a 3D shape, isn't it? And that's what I love about sewing, taking a piece of fabric and making something 3D out of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, and here. So lots and lots and lots of pins. I get told off at home because pins are on the floor.
Oh no, you have got to be careful. This is what's great about clips as well. You'll like working with clips. Pins are great and are always going to be useful, but yeah, I'm the same, I always do.
Yeah, but at least with these pins, you're going to be able to see them, aren't you, on the floor, compared to just the metal head pins.
Almost half the stock of the pattern, by the way, has gone completely. So if you've got it in your basket, please do check out. Remember, it's the only one pattern covering all sizes from size 8 to 26. The maximum size the maximum amount of fabric that you're going to need for this is 3 meters for the largest size, and it's just got that beautiful sleeve which we're doing now, which is sort of an elbow length sleeve. Great detail with the bottom sort of scoop back and the lovely tie belt. It's a really versatile dress. Love it.
Yeah, I've had some lovely comments actually.
Oh yeah, on your reel.
And my little dance.
I must say, Adele is just so 2020. I know that you have got a 10-year-old daughter, haven't you?
Yeah.
Who is well into her TikTok and very good on, Instagram and all of this. Hashtag reels. Adele's very, very good at it. I've never even heard of a reel until they were talking about it yesterday in the office, saying we need to get Adele doing all of our reels and things because we don't know how to do it.
It's so fun. It's so fun. I love it. I thought, how can I make this one? And I like showing the garment as I move, and much better than in a picture. And yes, I did the and then changed.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Oh, it's fun. But yeah, it's always nice to see a garment.
You've got the reel, haven't you, that we can show people in a bit? Yeah, Kat's looking for it.
Oh.
Really? What is your Instagram name, Adele?
So it's Button and Pip.
Button and Pip.
Yes, they were the names because I didn't know that we were having 2 girls. So I called my bump. My eldest, she was Button, and my youngest was Pip.
Oh.
So I've used that just on my handles.
And how old's Evelyn, your youngest?
So 10. Well, they're going to be 11 soon. Oh, sorry. So my eldest is 11, 10, about to turn 11, and my youngest is 7, about to turn 8. They were due on the same day.
Really?
But luckily enough, it didn't happen.
Yeah, they're still not far apart, and they're October as well, aren't they?
Yep. So we're going to have cake for breakfast soon. They'll go to school going, Miss, I've had cake for breakfast. And what? Well, it's what you got to do on your birthday, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Right, there you go, look.
Oh, love it.
And that sleeve's gone in so well.
That's nowhere near as scary as I think we thought it was going to be.
No, don't be frightened about setting in a sleeve. Just take your time. If it doesn't quite line up, just unpick. Some people actually like to baste it in first, which you can do even with the machine or just hand baste it and then sew it with the proper seam.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't be frightened. And then what we'll do, if I haven't got time, have I? But we're going to fold that over, and then I will do my side seam.
Yeah, we're happy to.
Shall I just do one side so that we can see that full sleeve? Is that all right?
Absolutely.
So do you remember earlier we folded this back?
Okay.
We're now going to open it back out, okay, and join up, match these 2 seams here. Have them first of all matched. I'm trying to think which way I'm going to go through the machine. And then also match underneath the arm. And then you can sort out any ease that needs to go in.
I'm really surprised at how it seems to be behaving itself. I don't know why, but I was always a bit scared of cord, and I love it. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favourite. Whenever you see cord trousers or dresses, it's just so autumny and wintry, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's really comfortable to wear.
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
comfortable. And I think it's a nice transitional from a cotton in the summer through to maybe a heavier weight of cotton in the winter. It's a really nice sort of transitional. And this would look lovely with tights. And imagine a nice polo. Like turtleneck underneath with black tights and big black boots.
Because it has got quite a nice big scoop neck, hasn't it? So if you, like you say, you can just put this over your head without any fastenings, so it's just great. But it also gives you room then to do some lovely big jewellery, or like you say, a polo neck underneath.
Yeah,
nice.
Especially if like you're in an office or you work outside or anything, just layer it all up. And you haven't got the belt at the back creating any bulk if you want to wear it with the jackets. Also comfortable sit back on as well. It's just really, really clever design. That's what I said to Laura. I was like, oh, they're all so different and, well, so different.
Yeah. Literally so different.
You can see where she got the name from, can't you?
That's where they obviously got the name from. So are you going to stitch from the bottom of
Yes,
the dress?
I'm going to stitch from the bottom, going up, and it also does say this in the instructions. Don't be alarmed if it doesn't quite match up.
Okay.
Because there is a whole instruction telling you how to level that part off.
Right.
And I always think, don't worry, an unpicker is your friend.
Yeah.
So if you have to sit there and unpick, stick a movie on, stick some music on, and just do it that way. Right, big long seam.
Just while you're stitching all the way up, do you want to have a look at Adele's reel? We've got it here.
Oh,
here she is on her Instagram. Look how good this is. So that's the one for the next hour. It's good to see the dress on somebody as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
And then,
I love it. This is by magic.
as if by magic it happens.
That is so good, isn't it? I've got to learn how to do these reels. I do see them on TikTok. Over lockdown we've been trying to do all these different dance routines.
Yeah, you'll be addicted once you get started. They're just so fun to watch and they're really fun to do actually. Let me move this instructions out of the way because it's getting caught on here. And it's nice to see it, how it moves in the fabric.
That's it, absolutely.
So this fabric, like you say, has some viscose in, so it has that sort of swish to it. I don't think this will be any less swishier actually.
No, absolutely.
I think we'll have a good swish so that when you can give people a twirl to show off. Every
time that Laura does a dressmaking pattern, Laura is the founder, by the way, of So Different, and whenever she does write the pattern, she also does a blog post, doesn't she?
Yes.
They've got a great online presence. There's lots on Instagram, there's lots on Pinterest, but there you go, that's the blog that you can see there on your screen now, and that's Laura. You can see it in the suede.
Yeah.
You can see it more sort of dressy and a more, I'm not sure what dress it is, but I like how they've done the tie there. So all almost under the bust. That looks really nice.
Yeah, and what's really nice, it gives lots of fabric suggestions because I know I was talking to a lady just the other day at school and she says, what I really struggle with though is knowing which fabrics go with which garments.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a first time sewer and you don't really quite know what will go. And I always say, just have a look at the back of the pattern piece, go with their suggestions first. Yeah. Then if you want to go and experiment, go and experiment.
Even, you say beginners, even when I watch like the Great British Sewing Bee, and as you get to they're all really experienced sewers. Yeah. And that can be the downfall often in their garments, was they say you've picked the wrong fabric for that pattern. It doesn't work with that pattern. They're trying to be adventurous, but sometimes it's like, stick to what the pattern has suggested.
Yeah, until you've made it up the first time and worn it, go with what the suggestions say. And I just say, like, just have fun. And I'm a firm believer in using a pattern over and over again. I've got loads of the same dresses in my wardrobe, just different fabrics.
Absolutely.
So there we go. We've got our lovely side seam and we've got our lovely sleeve attached.
Lovely. Now, just one question that I had is, how would I finish my edges on the inside?
Right, I haven't done that today.
No.
If you've got an overlocker, you can do that, and after each seam, just take it through the overlocker. With this, because I'm very aware that not everybody has an overlocker, just do a zigzag stitch and take the zigzag over the edge and in, and it will be perfect. It's fine.
Brilliant.
So don't worry if you haven't got an overlocker. You can still make a fabulous dress.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much. It looks beautiful in that. And we're going to let you go and have some more cake, have another cup of tea, and we're back with you in an hour with the Tulip dress, which is gorgeous as well, isn't it?
Yes.
And you think actually slightly more intermediate, isn't it?
Yes, because of the interesting way that the pattern pieces are shaped.
Fantastic. We'll see you in an hour. So the pattern that we've been looking at this hour is your So Different tie belt dress. It's the first time I think that we've had this tie belt dress here actually. We've had loads of the So Different patterns. Have a look on the website if you do really like it. It's £16.99. I've noticed there's people, Kat's noticed there's people checking out on all of the different So Different patterns. You can watch back on YouTube. In fact, Adele I know has done quite a few of the demonstrations, so it's really, really clear and thorough. You've got a beautiful, of course, booklet in here which will guide you through step by step. There's online content as well as watching back today's show on YouTube. Lots of support there for you if you are a first time dressmaker. And as you can see, even though it looks really complex, it's got all those designer elements, it's still saying, look, if you're a beginner, you can go for it. If you're an adventurous beginner, absolutely go for it. And the pattern paper quality is fantastic, so you can use and use and use and use it again. Sizes 8 to 26 for £16.99. Oh, if you want to make a 12, you can use some of the calico that's just come back into stock. But give it a whirl. As Adele said, this is supposed to be enjoyable, and it will be. You'll absolutely love it. And the achievement when somebody says, where'd you get that dress? And you say for the first time, I made it. Oh my word, it's incredible. Right, so the fabric choices that we're looking at. Let's start with the suede one. It's 100% polyester and it's absolutely beautifully soft. This is, again, really, really autumnal, isn't it? It's going to be great for this sort of weather that we're going through at the moment. I say that, it's going to be really hot this weekend, apparently. Tomorrow's going to be 22 or 23 degrees. So 3 meters. Oh, you've just bought your summer jeans, Kat, haven't you? She's still rocking her flip-flops. In fact, no, she's got slippers on today. She's got they're still flip-flops, but they're slippers today. She says, it's a Saturday. It's all right to come to work in your slippers, isn't it? You've full-on made yourself at home in the new studio, haven't you? Paul has been very, very quiet today. He says, I'm still scared. I'm still scared. It's the first day in the big new studio. It must seem really big to you, Paul. I'm horrible, aren't I? I'm only joking. He says, everything just looks so far away. Just come closer, Paul. He's one of my best friends, so I'm allowed to be me. £7.99 half metre. She says, I'm still single, by the way. Still single, ladies. This is just stretch suede. It's so beautiful. £7.99. 145 or 140 wide, is it? Sorry, Kat. 140 wide. That's by the half metre now. So if you do want to use it as contrasting belt or, half a metre that you could do the turn-up sleeves, or if you want to make the whole dress with this and then use the floral as contrasting, you absolutely can. So the floral 3 metre bundle is £49.99. That is plenty enough to be able to make the full dress, and you might even have some left over. You could do a little purse, or you could do a scrunchie and little bits and bobs to go with as well. £49.99. Oh yeah, what about making matching face coverings, masks to go with your outfits as well? Good idea. £49.99. Or if you want it by the half metre, it's £8.49 a half metre. That's your Rose Pavilion fabric. Brand new in today, beautiful autumnal colours. And as you can see from the example, it looks great for this tie dress. You're thinking of getting half a metre of the brown and then the 3 metre bundle of this. You'll have loads of fabric to work with then, because those two work really, really nicely together. And then the other cords that we were looking at, we've got it in green. I really would love to see any of your photographs. If you do make the dress, please, 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 will you put them on the social media fan page, put them on the Facebook page. Love to see your makes. This would be beautiful fabric for other projects as well. Remember, you're getting 3 meters. Yes, we've teamed it today with a tie belt dress, but what about pinafores? What about little children's dresses? How about any of the other so different dresses, or making bags even with it, called Laura bag? It would look gorgeous. $49.99 is your 3 meter bundle, but now your chance to get it by the half meter. Half meter is again £8.49, and it's got the beautiful little, they look like tulips, really pretty scatter of flowers, just £8.99. That's your fern, your Lulworth Hall fern fabric. Really behaved yourself actually under the sewing machine, didn't it? If you are beginning and you've only made a few of your summer cotton dresses, as Adele said, then this would be a great one to try out. The colour that Adele was working with was your rouge, which is a true autumnal crimson, isn't it? I love this a lot. It would look really nice with brown boots, or black boots actually. $49.99, 3 meters of fabric for $49.99, which is enough to make your largest size, which is a 26. It's 145 wide, I think. 145 wide. Just so you know, majority of this has gone into bundles now because, well, loads of units have sold by the half metre. We've only got 1.5 meters left of this colourway. This is the one that Adele was working with. So if you do want it by the half metre, if you're thinking of different projects, you've got to check out very quickly on the last 3 units. There's only 1.5 meters left. Okay. You've still got time to get the dressmaking pattern. I'll give you a few minutes over the break to check out on that, but don't go anywhere. If you've seen on the adverts and the slides, the menus, we love the colour combination of blue and yellow. So Kat has put together the most beautiful collection of blue and yellow. We're saying goodbye, aren't we, to the blue skies and yellow sun? So we're going to do a whole hour of some of our favourite fabrics, all blue and yellow, coming up. Do not go anywhere. Check out on your pattern and we'll see you after this.
Hello, my name is Sally Stevens. I'm from Worcestershire, a little town called Upton-upon-Severn, which is a lovely little riverside town. And not far from there, I also have a little sewing studio, so I can work and leave all my mess left out when I'm preparing projects and quilts and so on. My speciality is, in fact, quilting, patchwork and quilting, and I probably started that when I was about 14 years ago. So as I often joke, that was only 7 years ago. In fact, it was rather a lot longer, but I've always enjoyed crafting and patchwork really hooked me and I love it. So now then, what can I tell you? Something you may not realise about me is that although lots of you have seen me many, many times on Sewing TV and at classes, because I teach as well, I also do a lot of unpicking. So don't be afraid ever, if you have to unpick things, so do we. It's not a problem. We all have to start somewhere, and sometimes you get a bit cocky and think, oh, I can just do that without pinning or without this, and then you think, should have paid attention to my own words. So some sewing tips for you. That's one, keep a seam ripper handy. That will always be your friend. And another one that I think is very important, whether you're a beginner or more experienced, when you're sewing something, particularly for the first time, a new technique, slow down. There's no rush, it's not a race. Have a little practice with spare fabrics if you've got them before you use your best fabric that you've just purchased so that you get your techniques just right. But also slow down, take your time, watch what you're doing, think about what you're doing, and read the instructions. That's always very useful. So what can I say? I've been asked to say what my claim to fame might be, and I would have to say, in all honesty, being on Sewing Street.
Hi, I'm Rosie Wells.
My name's Poppy and I'm a nutritional therapist.
Hi, I'm Ruth Lynette and I can't wait to join you all on the brand new Gemporia Lifestyle channel.
If you're a fan of primal living, you're going to adore what's around the corner.
What is lifestyle? Lifestyle is healthy habits.
Feeling good, it's about looking great,
Making sure that we're taking good care of ourselves inside.
and it's about the life that you lead and the home that you live in.
All of this is why I'm so excited.
We've got the most wonderful team.
Homeware deals and primal deals under one roof on one channel.
I can't wait to share this brand new channel with you. So we'll see you soon on Gemporia Lifestyle.
Gemporia Lifestyle, coming soon to Freeview Channel 74 and gemporia.com.
Hello, my name's Fiona Hesford and I'm founder of Sew Girl. I'm based down in Worthing on the south coast of England, and I've got a range of sewing patterns which I've developed over the last few years, which are projects for loose fitting clothing, everyday simple garments, things that I really love to wear myself. And I'm going to be bringing you them to Sewing Street over the next few months. So I look forward to seeing you then. Bye.
If you'd like to get in touch with us during our live show and send in any messages or any questions, then you can do it on studio@sewingstreet.com. Alternatively, you can message us on our official Facebook page.
Did you know that if you shop with Sewing Street, you're only going to pay one lot of postage all day? That's one payment of £3.95, no matter what you're buying. And you can check out as many times as you like without having to pay another delivery charge. So shop online at www.sewingstreet.com, or you can order via our call centre, which is 0800 001 4433.
Welcome back, welcome back. Oh, I must say, how excited is Debbie going to be tomorrow? Debbie is on tomorrow. She's going to have so much fun dressing all the set because we've got all of our different shelves. We've got lots of space. Elliot's promised that he's putting up the pole this week to be able to do his dance. No, I'm joking. To be able to hang all of the quilts. So that's exciting. I can see the pole. It's in the corner over there. So that's going to be going over here. Still doing our last little tweaks. It was so quick. Those of you that are tuning in, maybe for the first time this week, it's our first weekend here. We only moved in on Wednesday. So this is our new home, finally. When we launched the channel back in February, I think it was supposed to be a very temporary studio for a few weeks, in fact. And then all the craziness happened in the world. And we kind of had to say to our sister channel, Jewellery Maker, who we were literally like the annoying siblings, saying, can we just stay a bit longer? Can we stay a bit longer? We ended up being there for 7 months. So it's so good. It's so nice to be finally in our new studio, and it feels really homely. We're already feeling very at home, and that's down to all of your lovely messages, down to the fact that Kat's wearing her slippers now. We instantly feel very, very relaxed. But Debbie, she hasn't seen it yet. So Debbie Shaw is in with you tomorrow, and she's going to have so much fun decorating all the set in the morning and, getting to go to everything. It's just brilliant. What else is going to tell you? So, just so you know, the dressmaking pattern, the tie dress that we were looking at earlier on, that is now very, 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 very limited. I think there's less than 10 of those patterns left. So I don't want to rush you or press you whatsoever, but for anybody who's after the tie dress, check out now, because we had loads of those in stock. I didn't realise just quite how fast that was going. I've got a feeling that could have sold out by the time that we get to the tulip dress. So the tulip dress is going to be the next out with Adele. Oh, she just said, I've had so many messages come through. Loads of her friends have been messaging, and her family obviously saw the video, and she's had lots of lovely messages on her Instagram. Her Instagram was Button and Pip. So if you do want to send her a message and say happy birthday, you can do it directly to her Instagram, or do it via our studio, email studio@sewingstreet.com, and we'll make sure that she gets all of her messages. She's so lovely. Right, so this hour, you may have noticed on any of our newsletters or any of our slides, anytime that we bring on our sort of branding, I suppose it's called, isn't it? That's like a marketing term. When our marketing team and our marketing manager, Hayley, put together our new sort of setup, she picked the colours blue and yellow, and they work together so well. So Kat thought, right, I'm going to put together, it's kind of the end of the summer now, isn't it? The end of the blue skies and the end of the sunshine. But we absolutely love the combination of blue and yellow. So Kat's put together an amazing hour for you. We're going to be talking about dressmaking, so some more fabrics that are going to go lovely with your tie dress that you've bought. We've got lots of fabric by the half metre. We've got exclusive panels. We've got an amazing bundle, which we will start with now. So I love these colours together. They do look beautiful. And let's start the show with a saving, shall we? A saving of £2. You're getting half a metre of all of these different shades of blue and yellow. So quite often when you go to a fabric store, you don't get to see different shades of blue. They might have a light blue and they might have a dark blue, or they might have a bright yellow and then a more muted. That's it. Whereas here, because we've got the space in the warehouse facility, we can stock so many different shades of blue. We've put 4 in this bundle, which are, I think Kat's got the breakdown of the names for them. So in here you've got marine, which is your darkest, half a metre of marine. Then we've got half a metre of your sapphire blue. We've then got half a metre of cyan blue, half a metre of sky blue. Now, all of these are available individually on the website by the half metre. That's why I wanted to tell you the names. But remember that, oh no, in fact, actually, cyan isn't available by the half metre. The only way of getting it is in this bundle. We've cut the last of stock. So all of this has already been pre-cut. So if you're multi-buying, the warehouse have already cut it. It isn't just those 4 half metres though. We've also teamed it with your lovely sunshine yellows. And you're getting half a metre of corn yellow, half a metre of sunshine, and then half a metre of our favourite lemon. They are absolutely beautiful colours. Even if you don't necessarily use them together, I mean, they look great together, but even if you're using them for different projects, they're always going to come in really, really handy. £22.43. How lovely would that look on braid? It's almost like the sun going into the sea, isn't it? You could do a really beautiful sort of beachy scene, sea beach, wall hanging or something. It would look gorgeous. You need to brighten up a room. You know, now the nights are getting dark and we're going into these winter. I tell you what, the mornings are very dark. It's pitch black. Through the summer, we get up really, really early, obviously, to come here in the morning. And it's always, in the summer, quite easy because the birds are singing, the sun's just coming up. Whereas now, it's the middle of the night, isn't it, when we're getting up? It is the middle of the night. It makes it a bit more difficult. I do have to throw myself in the shower like, wake up! But anyway, we've got 1, 2, 3.5 metres of fabric here. So you are getting a great saving on this one today. It's just £22.43. I'll let you know what half a metre looks like because this is your quilting weight cotton. It's 112 wide. Even though it's quilting weight, it doesn't necessarily mean that you just need to use this for patchwork. You can absolutely use this for toy making or for soft furnishing. You can use it for little bits and bobs. Remember, that's 2 fat quarters. 2 fat quarters. If you think about it in terms of fat quarters, whenever you go to shows, I'm thinking, well, when we used to be able to go to some of the big exhibition shows, if ever you saw, I always say this, but it's true, if ever you get to see the stalls that say £2 a fat quarter or less than £2 a fat quarter, you would have to go in with your high vis on and your whistle ready, with your elbows out, dig in, because it's so busy. Whereas here, you're getting 2 fat quarters, remember, of each, half a metre of each. That makes your price £1 and what, sorry, Kat? £1.60 a fat quarter. £1.60 a fat quarter. Or £3.20 a half metre. So it's brilliant, brilliant value for money. And I must say, it's stunning quality cotton. It's Rose and Hubble. It is Rose and Hubble, so it's absolutely beautiful quality cotton. And those colours just look amazing together. And whenever we do whenever we do any of these bundles, the autumn bundle that we did a few days ago, that completely sold out. The rainbow bundle that we had as the early bird sold out. I think it's good to be able to see, you know, our team putting together these different colours that you know are going to work. It's quite hard sometimes to see it on the website when you've just got the smaller thumbnail sized pictures. Putting together colours, I think, can be quite difficult. It's nice to be able to done for you. Oh, if you've got any recommendations for us, I know that you're really good at home at being creative as well. So we want your input. The great thing about, you know, being in our new home is that we're literally doors away from our warehouse facility. We can start playing around with different bundles. But Kat is now scheduling her hours, and she said, I want your help. I'm putting bundles together. I want your help. What bundles do you want to see? What colours would you like to see together? Have you put together a great bundle at home before? Please will you email in? Kat's thinking of orange and purples together. What do you think? Message in studio@sewingstreet.com if you've got any help. She's saying thank you in advance for any messages that come in, because that's going to be brilliant, isn't it? These colours look lovely together. They really, really do. They look beautiful. So that's the only bundle that we have of your blue and yellows. Shall we do some of our exclusive panels? Because the great thing is, if you've got this bundle, if you're using it with pattern fabric, it can go a really, really long way. So if you team it with one of the bundles, now this one's TPUU27. If you team any of those half meters with this, it's going to go a really, really long way. Oh, this is nice. These are the fat quarters. So it's pre-printed, exclusive to us, and you've got four big fat quarters. In fact, let me hold it this way. I love this copany blue. It's absolutely beautiful. So four, what's the best way of showing it, Paul? There you go. So, all full fat quarters, your larger print, your more Ditsy prints. We've thought about those different scales of print. We've thought about the complementing colours. £14.99. This goes absolutely perfectly, doesn't it, together? We thought about that. So quite often when you're starting to work with different fabrics and putting them together, if you look at collections that are made, fat quarter collections or pre-cut collections from Moda, say, or William Morris, they do that automatically. And I think it's when you're a bit further along your quilting journey, you realise how important it is. I tuned in and saw Bex Reed the other day talking about different scales of print and how important that is to the texture of your quilt. And I don't mean texture to touch, texture to the eye. Now, you've got four fat quarters. Now, whether you cut them obviously into fat quarters before you start subcutting. There's one section which is your really pretty little yellow Ditsy prints. The blues as well. If I shimmy it across, then you'll be able to see the detail on this. You've got a really fine detail, which is beautiful. The larger scale print, you've got a slight little bit of wiggle room between each of these as well. There's a white line between them, so there is a little bit of a gap between. You can just about see there is a white line between. It's hard to show you on that one. This one is your largest scale print. If you've got any of the Wendy Gardner books, or if you've got Debbie Shaw's Half Yard book, then there's so many inspiring projects using simply just a fat quarter. How much do you pay for fat quarter packs? This is 140 wide. So they're, in fact, I didn't think of that. These are big fat quarters, aren't they? They are bigger than your standard fat quarter because this is printed on an extra wide fabric. It's 140 wide, whereas generally your quilting weight fabric is 112 wide. Yeah, I know that you've got the border around the edge of white, but they are big. They're really, really big. This beautiful yellow as well. It's not like, I wouldn't say that it's a sunshine. I would think it was more on the corn yellow, more of like an ochre gold. It's really lovely. Perfect for home interiors. Just £14.99. So that's the first of our pre-printed panels. The next one's KPUU68. Got it. Oh, he's on it now. He's here. He's back. He says, you've got me here. It's taken you how many hours? 4 hours. He's back. Does that mean we're going to get jokes and everything now, Paul? No, not yet. No, not today. No jokes today. Paul's been sending me so many different jokes. I think you're on like a joke. I don't know where you are. You must have a joke book or something, or he's, I think, part of joke groups on Facebook, because he's always coming up with all these different jokes. This one's lovely. So this is again the same prints, the same colours, but this time in a jelly roll or a design roll, depending on obviously different brand names, they call it different things. But what I love about this, I mentioned in the last one, because it's printed on the extra wide fabric, it's 140 wide. So you're getting all of these strips, but extra wide. So normally a design roll or a jelly roll is 112 wide. This is 140. Now, whether you're choosing to use this as 2.5-inch strips, you can cut between and use it like for your design roll race. You can use it for your Bargello, for your around the world quilts, for any of your Pam and Nikki Lintott designs. They often use 2.5-inch strips. But also, I'm thinking for people who do English paper piecing. I'm thinking of people who want to do smaller piecing, because you've got so many lovely intricate prints on here that are beautiful. Rather than buying 1/2 metre of every single one of these fabrics, you've got all of these different prints, all of the different complementing colours, all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 different strips. Look, this is the great thing about our new studio. We can show it to you. We can show you all of it. Whereas before we couldn't. We're in such a small room. We'd say, right, this is half of it. Now this is the other half of it. Whereas here it's brilliant to be able to show you it all. So 16 coordinating fabric strips. Know this navy blue? How in is this at the moment with home decor? My mum's just asked me to buy a pot of it that she's painting all of her bedside furniture and things like that. There's walls. This is the colour that you want your walls, isn't it, Paul? My friend's just had a new kitchen. She's got all of the cupboard doors this colour. In fact, in the reel that we watched of Adele, not that we were looking and eyeing up all of her furniture in the living room, but I swear she had a chair this colour, didn't she? Does anybody else do that? It's quite bad, isn't it? Whenever, you know, when you're watching any programmes and they're doing Zoom from home, I watched Ant and Dec and I couldn't stop looking around the house. I was thinking, oh, this is just amazing. We could see into everyone's houses. But you do spot all the different colours, don't you? And this blue is very, very in indeed. I'm thinking though, if you are doing binding, you could do beautiful binding with this. You could even do bias binding, cut it on the bias, and you'd have like scrappy binding. So you don't, even though it has got that bit of wiggle room with the lines in between, you don't need to actually necessarily cut in between them. You could pin tuck them, and you could do like bolster style cushions. You might have seen Debbie Shaw do that before. They are fantastic to say that normally for a design roll or a jelly roll, depending on what designer you're looking at, obviously, but you can be paying £40 or even more sometimes. So for less, well, half that price, £20, you're getting extra fabric because it's 140 wide. You're guaranteed to get those complementing colours and different scales of print. I think this is just a great way of owning lots and lots of fabric very, very affordably. Okay, the next one is KRKUU26, please. Do you think that it goes quicker here in the studio? The time? I think time goes quicker here. No, Paul is concentrating really, really hard, so he feels like he's been here for hours and hours and hours and hours. This one is your charm pack, essentially. You're getting all of your 5-inch squares. How much you pay for a charm pack? So you've got 40 coordinating beautiful, beautiful squares. I mean, don't get me wrong, we've had some gorgeous charm packs. We had Lewis and Irene charm packs in the other day, which are absolutely beautiful. For English paper piecing, again, these are great because you're getting I'm not saying a snippet of each fabric. I didn't want to say that. I was trying to stop myself from saying a snippet of each fabric. because it isn't a snippet. You're still getting a 5-inch square. Whether if you're doing some simple piecing, you could piece the squares together, half square triangles and mix them, match them together. Use your creative grids with these. £12.99, and it is exclusive to us here. This is your Copen Summer fabric squares. You've got the wiggle room again, which I love. I think if they were all just 5-inch squares literally packed next to each other, if I wiggled and slipped with my rotary cutter or my scissors, I would think, oh, I've wasted that one. Whereas actually, you're not going to. You've got plenty of space there. Have a look on Pinterest or on the internet of what you can do with charm packs. 5-inch squares. There's so much you can do. There's books on charm packs. 5-inch squares are often called for in patchwork. Okay, the last one is this one, which is FPUU 03, please, Paul. It's already there. So these again are fat quarters. So you've got 4 large fat quarters, I should say, because once again, you guessed it, it's 140 wide. Very, very similar to the other fat quarter one, but in the reverse. So if you remember, before we had the Ditsy prints in yellow. You've now got the Ditsy prints in this gorgeous, very, very on trend. In fact, what was the blue? Do you know the paint that's F&B? It wasn't for me, it was for my mum, and she does like a fancy paint. No, Farrow and Ball. Might as well just tell you, because she's saying, oh, I don't know. You do, have you heard of Farrow Ball paint? They've never heard of it in the gallery. Anyway, it's really lovely fancy paint. And me and Hannah talk about it a lot because we love all the names that they call things. So Hannah said that she had, what was it that she said that she had on her wall? Fish breath. And I said, I think you've got that name wrong. I know that they have some funny names, but she'd combined her two to create her own Farrow and Ball one. It was something like salmon something or fish something, and then elephant's breath is one of the paint colours. But she decided that she turned it into, she's got fish breath paint on her wall. I've got elephant's breath on our walls. You do like it, Kat? She's saying, oh, I don't know if I like that. You do, you like my paint, don't you? So, no, it's not smelly paint. There's a market for that, isn't there? Although, well, we had smelly fabric the other day, didn't we? We had chocolate flavoured, not flavoured, chocolate scented fabric, not chocolate flavoured fabric, yeah? It was the Lewis and Irene one, it was lovely. So this colour, very, very on trend. The reason I digress onto paint is because my mom's just bought this colour in paint for some of her furniture, and I can't remember what it was called, but it had an interesting name as well. It's lovely. This one is with your yellows. Look at how detailed it is. The great thing, again, about our new fancy cameras, our new robotic cameras, is that we can show you all that beautiful fine detail. So massive fat quarter of this print. The larger scale with that gorgeous deep corn yellow with your... I like that it's, you know, the contrast, that you've got the white flowers with the yellow leaves, the grey leaves in there. You could team it with any of the fabrics. Let's have a look. If you manage to get this bundle... Maybe if you're teaming it with one of the blues, or I think that one maybe. There's so many beautiful ones that you'd be able to do. They'd look great, wouldn't they? £14.99 plus. Now then you've got a fat quarter of this one as well. £14.99. That's the last of our pre-printed panels. Remember, these are bigger than your standard fat quarters. They are bigger than your standard fat quarters. They are big. £14.99. What does that make your price per? I'm being silly, aren't I? Yeah. Can I work it out myself? No, it's quite difficult actually, isn't it? Oh, good. Okay. Let's go for... Can I do my favourite? As soon as I saw that this was in today's schedule, I said, we need to make sure everybody is aware that this is back in stock by the half metre. Every single time I have aired this fabric, it has sold out, that showing. In fact, it sold out, I think, before we even we had it for a show. We had it scheduled for a show, and Hannah and I saw it in stock, and we just showed you on the website. Whereas this, this is amazing. This is supposed to be in the next hour for the tulip dress. It's gorgeous. And these hearts are like, I'm going to say embossed. I think that's the right word. They're embossed, so they're raised, which I would say, don't put your iron on it. I wouldn't put my iron on this. If you're ironing, iron on the reverse or use a pressing cloth, have it on a really low heat and just be very, very careful because you wouldn't want to lose any of those beautiful metallic gold hearts. How about with the tie dress? We're talking about using denims. We've got quite a few different options of denims. This is a really, really, really light denim. It's got a beautiful drape to it. So you could use this for bag making. You could use this for, oh look, you can see there, I believe that it's embossed. It's sort of three-dimensional, it's really lovely. It's only £5.99.5 metre and it is lovely and wide. Can I show you how wide it is, please? This is your chance, buy the ½ metre. We've done little girls' dresses with this. We've done blouses with this. We've done bag making with this. Loads of different projects that this is great for, but it is a lightweight denim, you can see. In fact, I think we added this into our show where we did, what is it called when you're doing quilting with denim? Patch, no, I can't think of the word. Please message in. Oh, what is it called? Oh, that's going to really bug me now. Please message in because we can't remember. But if you do see patchwork with denims, it looks amazing, and you have your seams on the outside and they all fray. It looks beautiful. So, back in stock. It's only £5.99.5 metre. We've got nothing else quite like it, nothing else with this embossed gold. It's really, really limited now. Loads of you have put this in the basket. Only £5.99, and you can buy as much as you want at the moment. At the moment, I say, because I think, right, if you are watching on a replay, could be a different story. It's probably going to have sold out. No, it's not. I can't think what it's called. Please message in. I want to say it's nothing to do with scrap. Scrappy. No, scrappy. No, I can't think what it's called. Sorry. I'll find out. Right. The next fabric. Which one do you want to go for, Kat? Let's do the other lightweight denims then. So, we've got like the Moroccan-y tiles. This is what I'm seeing. I'm calling it Moroccan tiles, I think. What do you think it's... Oh no, this is hilarious. This is the one. This actually caused a bit of this caused a bit of a ruckus in the office. Because this was, Hannah decided that it reminded her of French fancies, but couldn't call it French fancies, so called it squared fancies. Do these look like French fancies or like Moroccan-y Spanish tiles? I love it. I think it looks a bit designer, actually. It reminds me of a bit of a designer. It's only £4.99. A little bag made out of this, having it as lining, having a nice lightweight shirt. It is a beautiful cotton. 147 wide for £4.99. It's so lovely and soft, isn't it? The tulip dress would look lovely in this. I think with the tie dress, you'd need something, maybe it might work, but it was saying something a bit more, a medium weight fabric for the tie, but for the tulip dress, this would look lovely. You'd need 1.5 metres, I think, for the largest size, for all of the sizes, £4.99, and that is for ½ metre of your square fancies. You can buy it off the bolt. That's a really, really, really affordable way of doing it. Oh, the Gold Hearts fabric is absolutely flying out. If you haven't yet checked out on your Gold Hearts, please, please do. It's going. It's going. Were you going to add it to your autumn hour and it's going to have sold out? Let's try and get it back in stock by then. When's your autumn hour? Wednesday. It's not going to be back in stock. Am I here? It's me. We've got an autumn hour. If you'd like any bundles, has anybody messaged in with some bundle inspiration for you? I wonder if anybody's messaged in with some bundle inspiration for Kat. The floral, this is so pretty. Oh, I'm thinking like a sun hat. We made a sun hat with this, didn't we? We made a sun hat, I believe, with this one, and then the fabric that we're looking at for the tulip dresses. 1/2 metre. This would make such a pretty little girl's dress. A blouse maybe. $4.99 is so affordable, and it is a really lightweight cotton. Well, it's a lightweight denim. It is 100% cotton. It's so soft. Just £4, 99.5 metre for your white flowers on denim. It is so soft. 0800 001 4433 if you want to speak to the customer service team. Or, of course, you can shop on the web. Now, if you are shopping with us for the first time and you've never bought fabric by the 1/2 metre, we stock, as I say, by the 1/2 metre. But we've got this already on a massive bolt, so we can cut it off for you to whatever size you want. So if you're thinking of doing a full-length dress, or if you're thinking of doing a big hold-all bag, or if you're thinking of doing lots of dresses for siblings, or this would be beautiful, wouldn't it? I'm just thinking of a little girl dress with like a lacy sort of trim and one of those Peter Pan collars. It would look absolutely adorable. But if you do want to buy more, then it's going to be cut off the bolt for you in 1/2 metre increments. $4.99 is for 1/2 metre. But it's only 1 P&P all day long. Similarly to this one, we've got the smaller daisy print. Do you need the code for this, Kat? Ditsy Daisies, this one's called. Ditsy Daisies. Oh, did you? So you know them you know them very, very well. This is £4.99 1/2 metre, again for the lovely, lovely little Ditsy print. I love that they're in little trios. Almost create that secondary pattern as well. Is it called rag quilting? It's been really bugging me. If I look like I'm just sitting, staring, it's rag quilting, I think. Is that right? Yeah, you can make out of old jeans, and you could add some of this in as well, and you can make incredible little patchwork pieces, but you have the seams on the outside, on the reverse, so then you get this lovely sort of fray with denim, and it looks great. I'm sure it's called rag quilting. £4.99 1/2 metre, that's your Ditsy Daisies on denim. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? But you can actually use this in with any of your quilting cotton as well, if you're quilting, because it is a cotton, it's a lightweight denim. If you're making a little denim dress, maybe with a little pocket, you could have this as the little inside flash of a pocket. I know Bex was giving us some great tips the other day with William Morris, saying what she likes to do, Rebecca likes to do, is put in fabric. Does she not like being called Bex? I keep calling her Bex. Rebecca. So if you were to have the fabric on the inside of your pocket, or if a garment doesn't have a pocket and you're wanting to add one, you could put a lovely contrasting pocket in, couldn't you? That's just £4.99 1/2 metre. £4.99 1/2 metre. So we've got sailboats, absolutely. Sail away. Oh, I like that song. Who sings that? Is it Enya? Oh my word. What's it called? Orinoco Flow. Oh, I like that. I do like that song. Right, this is a deeper blue. It's still again a denim. Actually, no, it's not. This is a different one because this has got a stretch to it. Look. This has got a nice stretch to it. The other ones don't have a stretch. This would be perfect for dressmaking. Absolutely perfect for dressmaking. Obviously, if you are bag making or thinking of doing something else, just be aware that it has got a stretch to it. Just a one-way stretch. It's not stretching that way, but it does stretch. £4.99 1/2 metre. Isn't that lovely? Again, it's so soft. It's got a beautiful drape to it. It's 70% rayon, 27% polyester, and then 3% spandex. So it has got a really good stretch to it. It's 147 wide. Isn't that lovely? So it's printed onto the denim, the fabric designers, which is really beautiful. Your little sailboats. And there's not a direction to this, which is good. It doesn't have a directional print, which directional prints kind of scare me. Pattern matching sort of scares me still. Which I know I've been listening to Mark Francis, and I am going to, I have got some inspiration to have a go at all this pattern matching. Okay, so we've got the floral, the pink floral. Is this one called Pink Florals? Pink Ditsy flowers. Oh, these are really pretty. I think this one as well is the same composition, because this has also got a stretch. So this is your rayon with polyester and a little bit of spandex in there. Like a little bit of spandex, a little bit of stretch is always nice, isn't it? £4.99. Paul likes his spandex, don't you? He likes his, yeah, full. It reminds me of I used to be in an ABBA tribute show, and poor Benny and Bjorn had to wear the full spandex cat suits, which just aren't flattering at all. You have got the physique. You could pull off a full cat suit like Benny and Bjorn. £4.99, and he's single, ladies. We'll get him on in a full spandex catsuit and get him to strut his stuff in our new studio. You've got a spandex tuxedo catsuit, not catsuit. Oh, you're just joking. Oh. £4.99.5 metre. This is a deeper colour, but it's got that lovely little splash of pink as well, which is really, really nice. Just £4.99.5 metre. Okay. Can we go to the heavyweight denims? Heavier, I should say. They're still a medium weight, which is perfect. How many of the dress patterns are left? This one, the tie dress. Oh, in fact, that is about to sell out. If you do want the dressmaking pattern, there is no way that will be available past 11 o'clock. So if you're watching on replay, it's definitely worth finding out. But the tie dress is the so different tie dress that we just demonstrated in the last hour. Very, 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 very popular today, and would be lovely, we said, in the denim. I really like the cord. I think that's really nice for autumn. Again, with this, denim for autumn. If you've got a nice pair of nice fancy tights and a pair of lovely boots to go with it, it's going to look beautiful. Or, like we said, with a contrasting polar neck white top underneath, it would look lovely. This is your darker denim, which is a deep, beautiful indigo, which is gorgeous. It's £4.99.5 metre, your 8-ounce medium weight wash denim. If you're thinking of getting any of your metallic thread, you can embroider on this, like little stars or hearts or something, couldn't you? Before you make it into a dress, you can embellish on it, can't you? Oh, denim is just a different ballgame. If you're making yourself some denim jeans, and maybe some like bootleg or flares are even coming back in, aren't they, Kat? Kat is bringing flares back. Paul's trying to bring hot pants back, spandex catsuits back. Denim though, denim shorts, denim jeans, denim jackets. You could just still, as I say, do that tie dress. And it's, of course, if you just use a denim needle, it really behaves itself in your machine. Just £4.99, this will be ideal for the tie dress. We've also got a denim in the light colour, but I do like this one for autumn. For the winter weather that's coming, I think that would look great with just a pair of pumps. I have been living in my pumps and trainers, and I think it's flip-flop time for Kat. But even if you are still thinking, oh no, I can't be getting my winter boots out yet, just wearing denim dress with your pumps, with your trainers, it looks great. All your flip-flops, Kat, £4.99. So affordable, so affordable. Denim bags, denim cushions, as I say, rag quilting. Am I getting it right? Could you just Google rag quilting and see what comes up? Because I'm saying it over and over again now. I'm adamant that it says that. Do you get jealous if I start talking about Hannah? There is no rivalry between you two. Kat and Hannah are both really good friends, and they're both producers. That's it. That's it. Exposed seam with the frames, with your denim. That's it. It's rag quilting. Thank you. So, the light blue. I think she's in the mood with me because I spoke about Hannah. Oh, you can do rag quilting with all sorts of fabrics, but you know when I say when you quilt with denim and you keep the seams on the outside and it frays, that's the rag quilting part. Thank you. Okay, so you're allowed to talk about other presenters, but I'm not allowed to mention any other producers. She's saying, I know Rebecca Reed likes to collect all of her denims. Nobody's allowed to throw away a pair of jeans. Nobody's allowed to throw away a denim jacket because it's always great for other things, isn't it? This is £4, 99.5 metre. Kat gets very jealous, you see, though. Paul said, no, you can talk about all the other directors, it's fine. £4.99 is the lovely light blue. Even just doing sort of applique projects with it, if you want to cut out a heart, as I say, I love when it just frays, it looks so beautiful, and you can applique them onto denim jackets that you already have. Maybe you've got a dark denim jacket and you want to do an applique project and applique something onto the back. £4.99. You can still put this into a hoop and embroider onto it. That's in your light blue. I'm thinking with metallic threads, absolutely, that would look great, wouldn't it? Really jazz it up. You still do soft furnishings as well. Cushions look nice in denim, don't they? So, speaking of denim, when you're talking about working with denim, there are lots of different hints and tips online of what to do. Gutermann have got denim thread. Now, what weight is this then? This is a 100% polyester Gutermann thread. You get 100 metres on each. We'll find out what the weight of it is, because I'm wondering if it's it looks heavier. It looks like almost like top stitching thread, which I'm thinking that if you've got a pair of jeans that you know you want to do a really beautiful top stitching with, this is perfect for that. So if you are doing more decorative stitching, this is brilliant. So you get 12 different colours, really robust stitches. I'm going to hold together those thicker layers of denim for £24.99. And yeah, you've got these lovely colours, these golds, that if you're thinking of using your denim, your classic denim blue, and you want to use it to stitch with a contrasting colour, it's going to really, really stand out like this. If you want to do some decorative stitching, maybe along the lines of pockets or on yokes and around the necklines or sleeves, it would look beautiful to do some decorative stitching as well. Just £24.99. What was that, sorry? You've got your red, you've got all your neutral colours as well. You're making jokes. Oh no, that didn't sound like a very positive joke. He was like, no, it wasn't a joke. I thought Paul's arrived, he's got his joke book out, he's ready. Why are you sad? We're in our new home. He doesn't like change. You don't like change, do you, Paul? £24.99. He says, there's too many cameras. We've got 5 new fancy cameras now. So we have been used to, in our little broom cupboard, we've had, two cameras, really small. And now it's like, we're actually at the first day at high school now, isn't it? It feels like that, where, you know, we were talking to Adele about it earlier on. At the moment, because of everything that's happening, the year 7s are staying in one classroom. We said, gosh, do you remember our first day at school when you're thinking, I'm never going to get to my lessons, I don't know where this is, because you're not used to that at little school. So yeah, this is like our first day at big school for Paul. £24.99, 100 metres on each. I think this is even thicker than your 70 weight. By the looks of things. I'll find out for you, but that's just £24.99. We've got to do our fleece. Oh, this is so soft. I want to make some loads of things with this. We were thinking of different ideas of what you could do. If you want to back children's quilts with it, because it's nice and cozy to snuggle up on the sofa. If you want to, even at this price point, I would think in the car, to protect your seats in the car or your boot in the car. It's brilliant. How about if you were to do like a little blanket, like a children's blanket, and you could have somebody's name embroidered onto the corner. So pretty. You could do Maybe like an overlocker or a zigzag stitch with a bright variegated thread to finish the edges. It isn't fraying anyway, but if you do want to finish your edges just with a zigzag, it would look great, wouldn't it? I'm thinking of doing like a full chicken outfit, like a onesie. The reason I say that is because I've got it's a giraffe onesie, a chicken one, different like nice big zipper onesies to chill out in. I'm so cool, aren't I? You could also do, you know how emojis are all the rage, aren't they? My mom has just found the emoji button. So much so that when I went round, she was telling me that she's got emojis ready for when people message her. And she says, oh, Kieran, my husband, she says, I found a burger emoji. I've got it ready for when Kieran next messages me. I'm like, why? She's like, oh, because he really likes burgers. I found a burger one. Funny, isn't it? But anyway, I thought you could make like the emoji cushions. You know, like some appliques and big red heart eyes. You're getting loads here. Let me show you how much you get for £2.99. £2.99. That is a lot of fleece, isn't it? Even like a fleecy jacket to walk the dog. It's nice and bright, isn't it? It's nice and bright that you'll show up in the... Now it's getting darker in the mornings. £2.99, £1.50 wide. I'm thinking of a nice big sunshine to do for 150 wide, 150 centimetres wide. It's only because I'm thinking about a million projects now, and Kat's also telling me technical information. So it's 150 wide. I'm thinking that you could do a big sunshine cushion. What about doing like children's mobile, like a baby's mobile, dangling with like stars and little sunshine. You could do little teddy bears, little chicks, little key rings. Even like a bag would be cool with this, I wonder. What are you thinking? What else could you do? Oh, you have to give me a good idea of what to make first, Paul, before you do a cheesy grin fade. There you go. Oh, there's so much you could do. For fancy dressed things, it's brilliant as well, isn't it? Or just practicing sewing at £2.99 with something a bit different. Oh, I'm thinking like to walk the dog, a fleece. Fleeces are always just handy to have, aren't they? And in a bright, nice colour like this. You wouldn't get lost in the field either, would you? Not in the, not in a bright yellow like this. £2.99 a half metre. No, don't. Oh gosh, this is all of our strange new cameras. All right, Paul, if you really want to show everybody. Oh, do I look like the sun in the Teletubbies? They're saying they're focusing the sun. Thank you. £2.99 a half metre. Paul's now loving all of the cameras. He's all of a sudden realised he loves them. But at £2.99, that is a lot, isn't it? A lot for your money. Cushion backs and quilt backs, it's perfect. Phone's going in the gallery. Get it home, have a play with it. Show us what you made. Bag making, toy making, quilt backs, play mats. Don't make it be the only thing that you buy today. If you're purchasing more than half a metre, then absolutely go for it. But if you're only buying half a metre and it's £3, you've got £3.95 postage and packaging fee. So you may as well absolutely dip in and see what else on the website you can get. It's only £2.99. There's loads of people checking out on that. We said that we're going to get this back for our autumn show on Wednesday because we don't really have any other fleece in stock. I wonder whether we had it for a project, what project this was in for. Was it for Alice and Marion? It was for Alice and Marion's playmat, for the hopscotch playmat. So that's ideal, isn't it, to back it with this. And you can, it's just lovely and soft, really lovely and soft, and so affordable. So affordable, it's not going to eat into all your fabric stash. Right, just before we get Adele back on, I've got a few more to show you. Is this a bundle or is this individual? Individual Poplin, beautiful fabrics. See, this is so lovely, I think, for children's bedrooms. It's a poplin weight, so it's a slightly lighter weight cotton. You can still use it for patchwork and quilting. And in fact, I did ask Sally Ann Harrison a few days ago if she felt a difference when she was quilting with a mixture of them, and she said, to be honest, no, I didn't notice a difference. These are so pretty. If you are using it for bag making, maybe get some H640 which is a fusible fleece interfacing, or a medium weight interfacing on the website. That will just give it a bit more structure. But if you want to do lovely little dresses, this would be pretty. £3.99. Still great for home furnishings and still great for things like storage boxes. But I would say maybe if you're doing like a storage box, why not use the Visaline fusible foam or an interfacing just to give it a bit more structure. The spot is like a cornflower yellow. That's a lovely bright yellow star. This one, bear with. The bunting, so pretty. The yellows work really, really well together actually. It's still Rose and Hubble, it's still beautiful quality cotton. Price is fantastic, isn't it? £3.99. £3.99 half metre. This is for your beautiful yellow spot. And then, this isn't printed either, is it? This is true gingham, nice. Are we officially out of picnic weather now? I always think picnic baskets. I suppose it's going to be really hot this week, isn't it? Maybe we're doing some staycations this year and you're doing picnics. These would be lovely. I'm thinking even, you know, if you're starting sewing, getting half a metre of this is £3.99. Practicing loads of scrunchies, covering hairbands, doing things like that. It's so easy and quick to do. Nice little, I'm thinking bags, like toiletry bags. That's what I was trying to say. Toiletry bags and makeup bags, pyjama bags. It is obviously it isn't a printed gingham. This is a true gingham, so you can see obviously the way that it's being woven. It's absolutely beautifully soft. It's £3.99. Reminds me of like, what does it remind me of? School dresses, so pretty, isn't it? £3.99, nice and sunny. We have also got it in a blue, which was the colour of my little school uniform. Was yours blue as well? The blue's really nice. What about for linings? What about for linings of bags? Or nice little cushions? This reminds me of country kitchens with some hessian. What about top of jam jars and things like that? Has anybody been blackberry picking? I was up at the Peak District last weekend and we went bilberry picking, which I didn't even know what bilberries were, but yeah, bilberry picking. I've been blackberry picking as well. Maybe you're making some nice slow gin jam. Or even just if you are, we're thinking a bit more about sustainability, aren't we? And, you know, recycling and upcycling. If you do have any of your jars, ideal to just have, you know, 5-inch squares and put them on the top of jars. They'd be lovely. Christmas presents, or to keep your bits and bobs like buttons in. Just £3.99. What are you thinking? A reusable what, sorry? Makeup wipes. Oh, are they in gingham? Do they do them in cotton? They can be often in cotton. Oh, nice. I've only seen the ones that are like a microfibery, fleecy one. Oh, lovely. Just £3.99. I have used those before. They're really good, actually. Right. Have we got a couple of more? Have we got a bit more time? Let's do a couple more. These are. This is the canvas, cotton canvas. Whenever we have Debbie Shaw in, she'll often talk about cotton canvas. Her love for cotton canvas. She uses it a lot for bag making because it is a heavier weight cotton than your quilting weight. So it is absolutely ideal if you're using it for bag making. £3.99. Having this as the background, maybe with your sashko. Sashko would be lovely, or hand embroidery over the top of it. A lot of people are getting into embroidery. I think over the last 6-7 months since the craziness in the world started, we've all sort of slowed down a bit. I find that I definitely have, and it's lovely to be able to just do a bit of slow stitching. This would look beautiful with some real bright colour stitching on. Just £3.99, always very useful to have. You can, of course, use it for dressmaking, but it will just obviously be aware it's more structured. It's £3.99, ideal for bag bases, bag linings, bag straps, things like that. just £3.99. Not sure if there's anything else that I need to remind you about. Please have a look on the website at any of the So Different patterns, because so many of them have been selling today. The tie dress is now officially sold out. Well done if you managed to get it. Oh, the tulip dress is also selling very, 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 very quickly indeed. So if you do want that tulip dress, it's a gorgeous shape and I think really flattering for any body shape. Now, slightly more tricky than the last one. I'm still not putting off any beginners though. I love an adventurous beginner. The size is ranging from, again, say size 8 to 26. And it's got that beautiful detail of the pleat and the shape is gorgeous. We will have a closer look at this with Adele in a few minutes. So have a look, check out of your basket. Please would you get all of her birthday messages in for her? We'd love to wish her happy birthday. Everybody's been writing happy birthday on the fan page on Facebook, so thank you very, very much. We'll make sure that she gets to see them all. Don't go anywhere though, because Adele's going to be back. If you've got any questions for her, get them in right now, and we're back in just a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Debbie Shaw from Sewing Street, and these are my 5 top tips for successful sewing. So, number 1, always use a good quality thread. A good quality thread will keep your seams stronger and also help to prevent lint building up inside your sewing machine. Tip number 2, if your project isn't going quite according to plan, put it down, walk away from it, come back again the next day and you'll probably find that things don't seem half as bad as they did. My tip number 3, never throw away your sewing machine manual, always keep it to hand because you're going to find hints and tips, techniques and troubleshooting in that manual. You'll miss it if you lose it. My tip number 4 is to read your pattern instructions before you even cut out your fabric. Different manufacturers of patterns will give you different instructions, different ways of constructing your garments and different seam allowances. So to have a successful garment, you need to follow the instructions precisely. And then tip number 5 is don't give up. Every professional sewer sewed their first seam. Every professional quilter quilted their first quilt. Every professional quilter sewed their first line of wonky stitches and had to get out the quick and pick. That's no different to you. So I hope you find these useful. If you want more hints and tips, then why not go to Sewing Street on channel 74 on Freeview, on Sky 670, and of course we have a YouTube channel where you can catch up on previous demonstrations. We'll see you soon.
Shopping with us couldn't be easier. If you want to shop online, then you can head to our website, www.sewingstreet.com. It will redirect you to our sister channel Jewellery Makers landing page. Don't worry, you haven't gone to the wrong place. We're simply using their website temporarily while we're building our own web shop. Scroll down past the Watch Live part and you'll see all of the products that you will have seen on air on today's live show. You can also shop our catalogue by clicking a category, clicking a product to view closer and adding it to your basket. Once you're ready to check out, you will need to create an account, which is absolutely free to do so, but it will mean that you can check out on as many orders as you want throughout the day with still only paying 1 postage and packaging. If you'd prefer to speak to somebody in our UK-based customer service team, then you can do so via the free telephone line number 0800 001 4433. They will not only help you create an account, but will also help you with any of your online shopping.
Hello everyone, I'm Delphine Brooks. It's so great to be here and part of the Sewing Street family. I'm local, I'm only down the road in Warwickshire. I started sewing many years ago when I was very young, doing lots of art and painting, and eventually I went into textiles and I really enjoyed doing the two together. I then had a bit of a break. Something you don't know about me maybe is that I spent many years in the Royal Air Force and eventually in the police as well. And then I went full circle and I've come back to my happy place of sewing, and which I really enjoy. My best sewing tip is measure twice and cut once. I have chipped up a couple of times by not measuring properly, and I do always regret it. So now I always measure twice, cut once. Anyway, I really hope to be with you again soon, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
If you'd like to get in touch with us during our live show and send in any messages or any questions, then you can do it on studio@sewingstreet.com. Alternatively, you can message us on our official Facebook page.
Did you know that if you shop with Sewing Street, you're only going to pay one lot of postage all day? That's one payment of £3.95, no matter what you're buying. And you can check out as many times as you like without having to pay another delivery charge. So shop online at www.sewingstreet.com, or you can order via our call centre, which is 0800 001 4433.
Welcome back, welcome back. Well, I don't know if you managed to get the other So Different pattern. It's now completely sold out. We're back with another, which I believe again is another brand new one to us. We're really making our way through all the series of these So Different patterns. We love them and we know that you love them too. I think it's a mixture of having something that's a bit different and something you don't necessarily see every day in the shops, but also having something that's achievable for all levels of dressmaking and having a really good size range and a style that is going to suit all body shapes. So we've got the Tulip dress this hour, which slightly more, and I say slightly more complicated. They don't sort of give you a beginner, intermediate, advanced. I think they don't like to sort of pigeonhole the people into saying you're a beginner still or you're an intermediate. So the way that they do it is in difficulty. So there's 5 stars. This is 2 out of 5 stars. So it's slightly more advanced than the dress that we looked at earlier on. We'll talk to Adele about why that is and what different techniques we're going to learn in this dress. But as always, it's going to suit most medium weight fabrics, which is brilliant. What I love about these patterns is they give you lots of scope to be able to make the pattern again and again and again and have a real wardrobe builder that's going to look completely different depending on what fabrics you're using. So for example, you can use this with cotton, with linen, with denim, with cord again. You can use it with lightweight wools, scuba, double knit. You can use as much, well, you can use it with so many different fabrics. Have a look around our website because obviously we want to spend as much time demoing this hour as possible. So I'm not going to trail through loads and loads and loads and loads of fabrics that you can use, but the fabrics from the last hour would be suitable for this as well as all the linens, the cottons. There's so many available. In the last hour we looked at some lightweight denims, which would be beautiful. We do recommend for the largest size, going by the little box at the bottom, as Adele said in the first hour, always measure yourself and see where you lie. Even if you're still working with the So Different pattern, which you've done before, still check your ease and your finished garment size to see that you're happy with the style of the dress. So for the largest size, which is a size 26, it's still quite a nice, like, loose dress though, isn't it? It's not completely really fitted. It's got a really nice loose waist, which is nice. We've got 2 different options. We put together 2 bundles, one in denim and one in linen. So which one, sorry, first? The Denim Roses. This is really beautiful. I don't think we did this one on, we had similar ones, but we've got a whole bundle of 2.5 meters, which is enough to make the largest size. And it's really beautiful. It's got a lovely drape to it. It's a lightweight denim. £23.99 is a great price, isn't it? That's really good for 2.5 meters of fabric. And the detail, sorry, I've just unfolded this, but you can see the detail is beautiful as well. Lovely roses by the ½ meter. If you do want it for a different project maybe, or if you're making a smaller size, it is £4.99 a ½ meter, and that will be cut off the bolt to whatever size that you want. Then the linen, which is a bit confusing because it says denim in the graphics. It's not, it's linen, but it's in, oh, I'll fold this up in a second. It's in a denim colour, so don't get confused with that. And it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I've put it in the trolley. Oh, I did. I've put it in the trolley here to the side of me. Kat said, did you just throw that on the floor? No. If I were to put it on the floor, then I say I put it on the shelf. I make everyone aware. I'm just putting this on the shelf, and it ends up going on the floor. It's £28.99. That's 2.5 meters of, oh no, hang on, we've got the wrong graphic in for that. That's the denim one, isn't it? Oh no, that's right. So Denim, oh yes, you are correct. It's because I saw the word tulip and I thought, hang on, where's the word tulip? It's not a tulip on it, but it's because we've put it in especially for the tulip dress. But of course, you can use it for all sorts of patterns. The linens are very, very popular. We don't have this available by the 1/2 metre, but 2.5 metres is plenty enough to make the largest size. If you're making a smaller size, you've got some linen left over to make all sorts with. Just $28.99. So today is Adele's birthday, and if you watched the show earlier on, her family sent in the most lovely message. Did you manage to watch it, Adele?
Yes, I watched it back, always sound, and had another little tear, rang them.
Oh, did they see it on the telly?
Yes, they've been watching, they've watched the first show, they've had to go to dancing now, so they can't watch this show. But Isabel, my youngest, was like, Mummy, did you see it? And I was like, yeah.
Well, you've still got friends and family watching. I know Laura's watching now. She's just messaged in.
Brilliant.
She's saying happy birthday.
Oh, thank you ever so much.
And from who as well? Laura, Lucas and Ava as well.
Yeah.
They're all watching.
Yeah, I'm really, really close friends. Yeah, oh, that's so lovely. Thank you, Laura.
She said she's very proud to see you on screen and that you're one of her best friends. She says she is a self-taught sewer and also one of the strongest and funnest person I know.
Oh,
so that's
lovely.
from Laura. She says, well done.
I've sewn for her as well.
Oh,
so
really?
yeah, I've sewn dresses for her as a birthday present.
Oh.
I once said, well, what do you want for a birthday? Choose all my pattern like that I've made before. What would you like? So she sent me a photo of it once.
You are a good friend. No wonder you're one of her best friends, Laura. I'm not surprised.
I've tried to get her sewing and she's got a sewing machine. So
Come on, Laura.
We're going to do it again. We're going to do it again.
Brilliant. So the tulip dress. Now it says 2 stars, whereas the other one said 1 star in difficulty. What sort of techniques are we looking at in this one?
So this time we've got pockets to insert, so I'm going to take us through that. And we've got a bit more shaping, whereas the shaping came from the belt last time. This time we've got a dart here, which I've already sewn up on the sample, but I'll still go through with that. And then this lovely feature here. So it's like a pleat, but it gives it a really nice shape and it really makes the tulip shape from that.
That's what I like, because even though it's got a loose fitting, it still has shape to it. It's not just a bag that's going to fall from here and out. It's still got really lovely darts to give it the shape.
And what's really nice about these darts actually is they don't come from sort of high up on the sleeve and go across. They come from sort of down and up. So it really complements this tulip shape. And one of my very first things I ever made for myself was a tulip skirt.
Yeah.
And I've still got it in my wardrobe today. I just love that shape of just of ease, but it gives you a little bit of style rather than just being a shift dress and going straight down. It's a really nice feature. And then we've got a bottom band on as well that brings that tulip shape in. The back is
no
just
fastenings again.
No.
Brilliant.
The only thing is we've got a back seam here. And when I first started sewing, I was like, I don't need a back seam, I'll just fold the piece over. But no, you do need that because there is a slight curve that just allows it to go into the crevice of your back there before the bottom part. But yes, grown in sleeves this time. So we talked about that earlier, didn't we?
Oh, they're nice sleeves.
Yeah, so we haven't got to worry about inserting anything like that. They're already there. But it's a really lovely dress and great pockets.
And great that you can use it with so many different fabrics again. I know that you, that's what you say you love about the different patterns.
Yes, and someone just messaged me yesterday and said, would it work with jersey? Do you know what would be really nice? Like a Ponte Roma jersey.
Oh, nice.
A nice thick jersey. Oh, just whip on first thing in the morning. You haven't got to worry about anything else to style it with.
Yeah.
And you'll look fabulous all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
All day.
So what is it that you want to show us?
Okay, so I'll just show that I've already done these darts because the pattern piece is quite an unusual shape. So let me see what I can get in first. So the pattern piece has this strange shape here. Don't worry about it. Just follow the directions of everything that's already on there. So this part will come to this to make the dart, and then this here is our sleeve. So it looks very angular, but when it's on the dress, it's not angular at all, is it?
No.
It's a really nice feature. So what I'm going to show is this part here, which is the top pleat.
Right, okay.
Here. So I was really interested when I get these patterns and I look on the outside, I try and work out how they make that shape. So when I first looked at this, I thought, is it folded over? Is the pleat folded in like a box, a box pleat. But no, it's one simple line of stitching. Right. And it gives that shape. Okay, so if we look on the pattern piece here, where we've got this angle here, we're going to start right in that angle there and then go all the way down. Just a simple straight line. So shall we have a go with that?
Absolutely.
Right, so I have transferred those markings and I've just put a little dot to where I'm going to sew to.
Okay.
Now, if you are a new beginner and you're a little bit worried about all those pattern markings, you can draw yourself a stitch line. Yeah. But I don't mind just taking it from there and going for a straight line. I'm going to just though put a few pins in here just to make sure that it doesn't shift. But I don't think it will because this fabric doesn't shift, but it's always good to
It's a very lightweight denim, isn't it? So do I need to change my needle to a denim needle or anything?
No, because it's a lightweight denim, it will work just with the normal needle like
brilliant.
cotton, and that's what's really nice about it. It will look nice in the summer as well, won't it? Right, so I'm going to do this straight line here, and then as if by magic you're going to see how it comes. So here we go. Right.
Just a warning about the fabric that Adele's using, there's only 3 bundles left. There's only 3 bundles left of the 2.5 metre bundle. So if you do want this enough to make the largest size, it's just £23.99. There's only 3 of those bundles left.
So
there's only 1.5 metres of it on its own. Oh my word!
Oh, wow.
Okay, grab that whilst you can. Sorry, Adele.
It's okay, don't worry. I've double stitched, reverse stitch at that end just to make it secure. Okay, now we have to press this part. Okay, so if I put it here, then the camera can pick up what's going to happen. So we're not going to fold that pleat to one side. We're going to open that pleat out, and where the fold line is going to sit straight like that.
Right.
Okay. And then this is where we really do need to press. I'm going to put a pin in there just to make sure it doesn't shift. You know I'm a lover of pins. And we're just going to iron that bit in place. You can keep that pin as well in for later. When we come to the facing, that will be sandwiched between the facing and the part. Right, fingers crossed. Let's see, it looks nice on the other side. And there we go.
Oh, so it's actually not as difficult because it looks like it's quite a feature of the dress, isn't it?
Yeah, and it really isn't difficult. And you could really, especially with this fabric, it presses really well. You could take that pleat all the way down to towards the bottom and really, shall we try that actually?
Go on, why not?
Let's really accentuate that pleat and make it look a real feature.
So just, you don't need to sew any extra, it's just pressing it.
Yes. So what I'll do now is just really press that pleat from the outside, and there we are. It's really nice and crisp, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So that's really nice. Right, pocket time.
Could you just bring it slightly to your right? Sorry, thank you.
There we go, look.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
A lovely feature there.
Amazing.
That's really nice, really nice. It's upside down, isn't it, as well? Right, shall we have a go with the pockets? Pockets.
They're big pockets as well, aren't they?
I love a good pocket, especially running around school at the moment. Everything goes in my pockets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ready. So what we're going to do is we've got 4 pocket pieces. We have to put 2 onto the front, 2 onto the back, and then that will become part of our side seam. Okay, so don't be alarmed. Now on the pattern piece there is a dot, and that piece is actually really important because it doesn't quite line up to the very bottom.
Right.
All right, so let me put this on and then it will make sense what I mean. So where the marking was, I've put a tiny little notch in, and I'm going to match those notches up first.
It's really important, isn't it, to transfer all of those markings. I think that was one of the biggest mistakes I made when I went on my beginner's dressmaking course, is I didn't transfer all of the notches, and they really help.
Yeah, they really do help. Even as an experienced sewer, I still put my notches on.
Yeah.
I've learned from my mistakes,
Yeah.
I will say. So if you look here, that pocket doesn't reach the bottom.
Right.
And there's a point for that because we're going to put our band on and we don't want our pocket sort of sitting in the way.
Yeah.
So I put that notch in, right sides to right sides, and I'm going to do both pockets on this so that we can actually have time to see the full pocket construct coming together. So again, matching up my notches, pinning, and then sewing. Oh,
Half the stock of the pattern's already gone. Well done, everybody. I think this is going to be another sellout, by the way. It always happens when you're here, Adele. Everything. I know how thorough the instructions are anyway, but it really helps, doesn't it, when you've got somebody who's so clear. And of course, it's lovely because you are self-taught.
Yep.
You talk through it very logically.
Oh, thank you. So I've learnt from my mistakes. So 6 years ago, I picked up my first sewing machine.
Wow.
Just made for the girls, little pinafore dresses, experimenting with that. Then I started 4 years ago making for my own garments. And I just jumped in at the deep end.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't go right, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There are things that have ended up in the bin.
Yeah.
Or I've tried to rescue it for something else. But the thing is, I don't want anything ever to put me off. I just go for it, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I always think, if you can't see the mistake from where you are, when you're talking to me, 2 meters, then
that's it.
Yeah, then no one is ever going to be bothered.
It's a good time to start dressmaking, isn't it? Because everyone's going to be looking from a distance. Anyone says, "Oh, can I have a look at that?" Inspect it. Stay away 2 meters.
Yeah, and it's just, I feel a real sense of pride.
Oh, absolutely.
So I sew almost everything now. Very rarely do I buy from the high street anymore.
But you start looking in shops and realise almost how poorly constructed some are. You think, gosh, that's not very good.
And also the choice of fabrics.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of times where I've ordered fabric, like dresses, and they've come in a really horrible fabric that I won't feel comfortable in all day. So you've got that power when you're making your own to choose exactly the fabric that will feel nice against your skin, that you'll be comfortable in all day. So yeah, I've just learned from experimenting, from YouTube, and from friends.
Yeah. So do you have an overlocker?
Yes, I do.
And how far into your dressmaking journey did you invest in an overlocker?
It was about a year into.
Okay.
So I still did some jersey without my overlocker. But yeah, I got an overlocker, and then my real love of jersey came in.
Like you say, this dress would be brilliant in jersey. If you have got an overlocker, or if you watched the show with Gary from Dukey the other day, I think everybody was just like, oh, need to invest in an overlocker. It's a bit of a game changer, isn't it? But don't feel put off. If you haven't got one, there's still real professional garments you're going to be able to make just with your sewing machine.
Yep. And that's the wonder. It's like a tiny little thing, but it's an amazing thing. Right, there we go. So we've got our pockets in currently. Now I'm going to press again. All right, make sure we press because we want all these seams front and back to match up in a moment. And if we don't press even just the millimetre, it might not sit right. Right, so that's one side and then the other side. There we go. Now what we're going to do is do exactly the same to the back piece.
Okay.
So I'll show you the back piece because I've already put the 2 pieces together. Put that to one side.
I think this is a good way of knowing how to put in seam pockets. Because if you've got a dress that doesn't have one, you can put one in, can't you?
Well, that's the thing. You can use these pattern pieces for any dress, really. Just if you didn't have the pockets already there, just put it and think, where would my hands naturally sit? Yeah. So that you know how far to put it up that side seam.
Good idea.
No one wants a pocket you've got to reach down to, would you? So as you can see, I've already done this seam here. And the fact that it's not quite lying flat shows that there is a very slight curve, and you want that because it's a tiny bit of fitting. So I'm just going to, because I folded it up on the way here, I'm just going to quickly iron that crease out. I've got a big pile of ironing at home.
Oh no, there's a big difference, isn't there, for ironing and pressing?
Yes, yes.
Ironing your clothes and family's clothes is not quite the same as pressing your lovely seams.
No, I'll have the...
Please don't be ironing on your birthday.
It was overblowing this morning when I looked at it. Right, so again, notches. when I was on my very first show, Debbie was laughing at me because I was notches and press, because they're very, very important processes. And I learnt that from trial and error. Trial and error.
That's your motto.
Yeah, pockets, notches and press. So we're going to put this one on here. So right sides to right sides, and then what we're going to do is do the side seams and include the pockets on there. But it's I love this print.
That's
with
so
little
pretty,
roses.
isn't it? It is really pretty. Have we got any? Yeah, no, it's gone, sold out.
Oh.
Sorry, it's sold out. We have got the linen option available, and if you watched the show earlier on, there are lots of different similar prints to this actually, in the same weight, exactly the same, by the half metre that are available. There are 3 or 4 different Ditsy floral prints, so have a look on the website.
Didn't you have some geometric denims
Yeah.
as well? Yeah, I remember them.
The square fancies, yeah.
Yes, that would look lovely. Right. Oh, I thought the machine had stopped then.
Behaving itself.
Yeah.
Telly sewing's a bit different. I find that I have to give my machine a bit of time out sometimes, and you can't really do that when you're demonstrating live on telly.
Sometimes, you know, right, this is one thing I'm definitely going to be honest with. There are times where I have got frustrated.
Yeah.
And all I've done is left my machine, walked out the room, got myself a cup of tea or coffee, and then just come back when I feel more relaxed.
Yeah.
Because there is no way you'll ever be happy with yourself if you carry on. So
walk away.
Yeah, walk away. It's going to be there when you come back to it. I am a person that once I start sewing, I can't stop until I've made the whole garment.
Yeah.
Which sometimes is my downfall because I rush towards the end because I'm so excited with it. But yeah, just having 15 minutes a day sewing.
Oh, yeah, when you're learning to sew, even if you just can set aside 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour a day.
Just sewing maybe the back seam and the pockets on, take a moment, come back to it, especially if you've got, because a lot of people say to me, how do I fit this all in?
Yeah, you've got a full-time, very busy job.
Yeah, and I just think, well, you make yourself time, but also it doesn't have to be onerous, just do little bits at a time and you'll be fine. Whoop. Right, now we're time to do the front and back. So if I show you one side, that will make sense. Okay, right. Double checking the instructions. Always double check the instructions.
Absolutely. Do you have a good read through the instructions first? Because I know, like you say, if you're somebody who likes to just sew along, you think, I've looked at the pattern, I think I know what shape it is that they do that, so you just go ahead. Whereas actually, if you read it all first.
Yeah, quite often. That's my bit of evening reading in bed. Just double check the pattern. Especially if you're using different companies, they do things differently.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why there is a certain order to things, because the designer has maybe got features that are different in other garments. So yeah, take your time, read the instructions. I'm a fan of illustrations over pictures in my instructions.
Right. And
these patterns have the most amazing illustrations. So they take you step by step through everything. So what I've done here, right side to right side, and as you can see, I've got my pockets also right side to right sides.
Okay.
And I'll show you the line of stitching is almost where I'm now pinning. This was mind-boggling the first time I did it. I was like, what? Why don't I just not go straight down?
But if you think about it then logically, it's because you'd then sew your pocket up, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. Oh. But it's funny because when you first start, it's all a game of jigsaw puzzle, really. So it's just working things out. So what we're going to do is we're not going to sew this angle here.
Right.
Because that's going to end up being your sleeve.
Okay.
That's that part there. So we're going to start from this, this angle here. And we're going to go down. And then when we get to our pockets, we're going to stop, turn it in the machine, and then go round the pockets. Again, come back here, turn it in our machine, and then go down.
Okay.
1.5 centimetres all the time as you're going round.
So another great generous seam allowance as well if you need to make any adjustments.
Yep, any adjustments around maybe if you've got a fuller bust, because obviously the bust starts come from the bottom. If you have a fuller bust, you might want to take that seam smaller and then bring it in towards the waist. That's what I love about having a generous seam.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, let's go. There we go.
We do a reverse at the start?
Yep, yep, because that's going to be your underarm, there's going to be a bit of a stress point there. So definitely reverse stitch there and then going down. And after you've done the seam, if you wanted to, you could overlock those seams together to finish them. Now, to turn, I know this machine finishes with the needle up. So just press the button to have the needle down as you turn. Otherwise, you might go a bit off-piste. So I'm turning while the needle is down.
Right, just pivot on itself, yeah?
Yeah, and then onto the pockets.
You're doing this automatically, but I am thinking, because I know a lot of people are getting into dressmaking.
Yeah.
How do you know from your machine from here where you 1.5 centimetre seam allowance
Right,
is?
so on the actual metal plate there's a gauge.
Yeah.
And it has a 1 centimetre and a 2 centimetres, then there's a line between it. Now I know some people get washi tape and actually put that tape on there.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So that you can completely make sure, especially if you were making something very tailored, you want to make sure that seam allowance is exact all the way around. And then I've also seen ones that are magnetic sitting there.
Oh, okay.
I've never tried those ones actually. They're a bit quite interesting. But this is the thing what you were saying earlier, metric and imperial.
So you don't know inches at all, do you?
No,
don't deal in inches.
I remember from my school days when I was at school, an inch is 2.5 centimetres. Oh, I'm going to be in so much trouble, that'll be all right, isn't it? It's like having conversations with my granddad, he's talking about feet and yards, and I'm like, Granddad, I don't know what you're on about.
No, it's like say with me in weight, in kilos and kilograms. I'm definitely like pounds and stones.
See, I'm a kilo. Oh, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yes, I think if I started patchwork, I'd really have to knuckle down. So I'm going to turn again, put my needle down, turn, and go. Now, at those turning points, if you're not confident where that 1.5 centimetre seam allowance is, put a little dot on it to start with before you get on the sewing machine. It's absolutely fine, because don't forget this is on the inside of the garment. No one's going to see a tiny little dot.
No, absolutely.
Right, so that's one. So should we have a look at, oh, I always love this, unveiling moments. There we go.
Oh, nice.
And a beautiful pocket that you almost cannot see.
Yeah, I do like those ones that are just in seam. They're really nice.
And a nice deep pocket that you can put lots of things in.
I was reading on the back of the pattern, by the way, that it says 1.5 metres for bias binding. Can you bind this then? At what points would you use
the bias binding is for the bottom.
Oh, I'm with you.
Because it's a curve, you'll need it just to go on there.
Right.
But Laura does amazing illustrations to tell you how to put that bias binding on. And also that bias binding will keep that hem nice and stiff. So it keeps that shape.
That shape, that tulip shape.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I also used it on the scoop pinafore of Laura's, the very first show that I did.
Yeah.
Bias binding again on the bottom, because it's the same idea. You've got a band where it's on a curve.
Right.
So, yeah, it's no problem there. Right, let's put this side to this side. I'm checking I've done this right. Oh, no, I haven't.
Oh, no,
I've missed something. Right, don't worry, look.
We're not panicking, are we? This is what you say, you're a teacher, you're an unpicker.
And my unpicker just reminded me the panels at the bottom.
Oh gosh, okay.
Right, don't worry, don't panic. So
it's fine, you're a teacher. I was saying to Adele earlier on, you were saying what makes a good teacher is being able to stay very calm in stressful situations. And look, we've got a smile on the face, we're fine. You say the unpicker is a friend, isn't it?
A friend indeed, and get a good unpicker.
Oh, do you know what we need to get you? It's not in stock at the moment. Have you seen the stitch removers?
Yes, the electronic stitch removers. Yes. Oh, I'd be sewing up seams to be undone on purpose.
Oh, I know, it's very satisfying.
Right, I haven't got to do much. It was only the bottom bit.
Oh, okay.
So, I apologise. I got a bit too away with my pockets. So what we're going to do is put a panel on the bottom and a panel on the back. And like we were just talking, there are two curves. Whoop. Where's that pin gone? So as you can see, we've got a curve there and we've got a curve there. We're going to put the smaller curve right side to right side on there. No, sorry, the bigger curve. There we go. Okay, now this is quite a flat seam. This here is a curved one. So we're going to do lots of pins.
Do you generally pin either side first and ease in, or
just go along? Or you can go from the middle.
Okay.
But this is the reason why our pockets didn't go down to the full bottom, because we've got this here to do. Look at this.
You could do this in a contrasting, couldn't you? You could do this with the contrast. In fact, let me show you the back of the pattern. I think that's been done again on the with a contrasting panel at the bottom would look nice. They've got nice red there. This fabric, I think actually that might, I think that might be a contrasting one as well, because it's like an ombre. I've seen fabrics that look like that all the way through, but I think that is a different navy panel as well at the bottom.
Yes, I think it is actually. You know what you could do? You could have a plain denim panel at the bottom and have your patterns, or even the other way around. And that's really good for using up little bits of scrap.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because we've all got those bits left over that we hang on to.
Oh yeah, do you have a stash?
I've got a bag full of bits that aren't scraps, but they'll come in useful, maybe for pockets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or even like this for the bottom, contrasting.
Even using really smaller pieces for like a plique bits onto garments, they always look nice, don't they?
Especially, I used to do plique flowers onto my girls' denim dresses.
Oh,
they always
cute.
look really cute. Especially when you've fallen in love with the fabric, it's really hard to throw it out, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to take my scraps in actually for the sewing club, and then the kids would go, "Oh, look at this one." I'm like, "Yes, I've got a jumpsuit in that."
Oh, brilliant. You say, "No, you can't use that one. It's too,
Right, there we go. Panel is on. The front, look, where are we? There we go.
Great.
And we're going to just, so this is really showing that lovely tulip shape, isn't it?
Yeah, it works really, really well with this.
Yeah. And you've got the curve there, bringing it down.
Any particular way that you're pressing seams, or does it matter?
I just press them down, just so that it's, when you're wearing it, it's not sticking up, so that you're not then going to catch it. So just pressing that down. So I've put that on the front panel. Now I need to put one on the back panel. Here we go.
The pattern paper is beautiful quality, isn't it? I mean, you'd be able to reuse this time and time again, I bet.
Now, there's a big discussion whether you're a tracer or a cutter.
Okay, what do you generally do? You cut. But what about if you want to do it again in a different size? If one of your friends message you and say, "Can you make that for me?" and you've cut it already up in that size.
Oh, I don't know what I'd do actually.
Especially with some of the children's pattern makes, like you say, you can get quite attached to certain styles, and I think as they grow, obviously they grow a lot quicker.
I have traced for the girls purely because they're both 2 different ages as well.
Yeah, that's it.
So I have done that, but I have to say I'm a cutter.
Yeah.
Oh. Also, if you've got a garment that's like that one that has a belt, even if my weight did fluctuate, I think I could still get away with the same size.
Yeah.
I think I'll be all right. But I know there's going to be people out there who are watching now going, "Oh, no." Yes,
If you do trace, or if you were to trace, what would you trace it onto?
So you can either use Swedish tracing paper.
Is that like the cross and dot one?
No, so it's just really nice weight sort of tracing paper. You get big rolls. Or I use freezer paper.
Oh, great. There you go.
Co-op, $1.99.
Nice, there you go.
I just get it. And I just do it that way. Like I say, I love reusing patterns. So the weight of this pattern is great because I always get so scared of tissue paper that after I've used it a couple of times, it's going to tear.
Yeah.
This is almost like A4 paper.
Yeah, it's really lovely quality.
Yeah, and all the sizes are different colours. So they're really easy for cutting out.
That's good. Clearly you can see between, because sometimes when you've got a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of sizes on here. It's sizes 8 to 26. So if you're going through the sizes and they're just a difference between length and dashes, sometimes I'm going through thinking, right, I don't know whether I'm on the right line here because that looks a very similar dash to my size. Whereas colour, you can't go wrong, can you?
Yeah, and with dashes, they run out of styles of dashes when they've used them so much. So yeah, it does become very complicated. So yeah, the colours are a great way of seeing it. How are we doing for time? We're doing good, aren't we?
Yeah, we're absolutely fine. Do you reckon about 15 minutes?
Perfect, we might actually get a full dress done.
Because it actually says here, it's an afternoon project, it says time, and I know that we're not on Sewing Bee or you're not on Sewing Street where there's somebody timing you, giving you a countdown. It says 3 hours. Like you say, if you want to do this a project 15 minutes a night or a little bit, you can obviously do it slower. But if it's not a challenge, but if you do, it's someone's not timing you. But if you do want to dress for the weekend, you're thinking, right, actually, this I can do in an afternoon.
I always cut out on one night, and then I sew up on another night, just because I like to take my time cutting to make sure I get it all right, because there's nothing worse than getting to the sewing machine and realise you've cut the wrong piece. Yeah. So I just really take my time with that, and then I sew. So
if it's the day before, do you label all of your, do you keep the pattern pieces?
I keep the pattern pieces on.
Okay.
If I've got to reuse the pattern piece for, like, say 4 pieces and I had to take it off, I will always make sure I put that back, so that, like I did today when I came, everything like this, it's all still on the pattern piece. So I never take anything off.
Because some of the shapes, like you say, you think, hang on, that's really angular. That can't be that part of the garment.
And I think that is actually why people don't want to start sewing, because they're frightened, because when you look at a pattern piece, it doesn't look like the dress that you're going to end up with. Yeah. So you kind of think, oh my goodness, what is that part? But it all comes together. It's a jigsaw puzzle in the end. Right, here we are, back to where we should be.
I'm an expert at jigsaw puzzles after lockdown. I've done so many jigsaws.
You?
Yeah. I don't think I've done a jigsaw puzzle since I was about 10 years old, and then through lockdown, Kat built me one for my birthday. I've had loads, I've loved it.
What designs, what pictures?
We did a gin one.
Oh, yes.
I've done one of a VW camper van, which didn't get too far with. I did another one of the town that I live in Warwick. I've done some lovely ones.
Oh.
But then I do break them up, and Delphine said to me yesterday, don't you glue them all together and frame them? I was like, no, I just break them up, put them back in the box. Seems a bit weird, doesn't it? But just to kill some time.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Have you got much sewing done through the last few months? Not as much as you wanted?
Yeah, not as much as I wanted. My husband took the sewing room over as his home office now.
Right.
So I have to bring everything downstairs, which is a little bit frustrating, but in the same way, it makes me really determined once it's down, just to get on with it. But I think because I knew I wasn't really going out, I didn't really think, I was so comfortable in my leggings.
Yeah, that's it.
Pyjamas. Yeah. So yeah, I've got my Sojo bag. I have to say I did have a little bit of lose of my Sojo.
Oh, I don't think you're the only person.
But what's really good is going back to those patterns you've done time and time and time again, so that I could sew up and not have to think. And then I got my Sojo back.
Oh,
it was a summer dress, so I might be able to wear it next week.
It's going to be hot. Tomorrow's going to be really hot, and Monday apparently really warm.
Oh, that would be nice back at school.
Oh no. You have to be taking the science classes outside.
Oh, do some ecology. Yeah, right.
Ecology? What's
ecology?
Oh, what's ecology?
So, sort of environmental biology.
Okay. Oh.
So we're doing that with our Year 11s at the moment. It's a nice topic. We had a really good discussion about animals the other day.
Oh, wow.
About lions and elephants. Great. Right, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
Last side seam, and then we've almost got a dress.
Fab.
Which is fantastic.
Can I just say, be very careful if you've got it in your basket and you're waiting for the end of the demo. Check out now. We were talking about this in the break. I think a lot of people love watching Adele's demo so much that they wait and then they do the shopping during the break afterwards. Whereas don't wait for this one. Check out now because we are in single figures. It is going to be another one that sells out during the live show. If you're watching on a replay, still worth finding out or having a look on the website and seeing what other so different patterns are available, because there are quite a few that we've done in the past that have been, again, very, very popular. The Geo dress is gorgeous. There's a jacket that you've made, actually, that's beautiful.
Yes, I love that jacket.
We've done some great so different patterns. They're available on the website, but always have a look and see what's there. Also, if you didn't manage to get the fabric that Adele's working with, don't worry, have a look on the website. There's a few others very, very similar to that lightweight denim. Still a lightweight denim, just different prints. Still some florals on there though as well. You'll find some daisy ones. Like you say, there's the lovely square fancy one, like the Moroccan tiles one, which is really nice. So you can still get those on the web. But there is still availability on the bundle on the linen, which again looks beautiful. You've seen that Adele's already made it up. Any difference in the way that you've got to sew if you're working with the cottons or you're working with the linen?
With the linen, this is a thicker material.
Yeah.
So it feels bulkier going through the machine, but I didn't have to change anything.
Okay.
If you are ever unsure about how it's going to flow through, I'd say put your walking foot on.
Right.
Because that really helps stabilise, make sure the top and the bottom go through at the same time. So the walking foot is not just for really silky material.
Okay.
Some people, like quite often, I just leave my walking foot on all the time.
It's lovely hearing about walking foots actually in dressmaking, because we only really generally reference it in quilting, and you don't do any quilting, do you? So
no.
It's good to know dressmakers use them as well.
Yep, so I use it if I've got a really sort of misbehaving fabric, like a floaty one that would move across each other as it goes through the machine. So it just makes sure that the top and the bottom goes through at the same point.
Right.
And then, I've used it when I've made my coats, especially when you've got lots of layers going through. But right, there we go. Right, we've got our seams. I'm throwing pins everywhere. There we go, I'm going to keep tidy.
In our new studio, everybody's been a bit like this. We've got to keep tidy.
Well, it's like you do when you have your new bedroom done out.
That's it,
and you're like,
oh,
it's so nice.
Elliot bought me a cup of tea in here yesterday, and I was like, oh, can't I'm drinking. You know, if you ever have a new car or new carpets or something, you're like, oh, can't eat and drink in here. Still feel like this in our new home.
Right, there we go, look.
Oh, wow.
And look how beautiful that shape is.
That's gorgeous. And it just shows, I mean, this is quite a considerably lighter to the linen, isn't it? And it still works really well.
Yep, still holds its shape. This will look really nice in the winter with a pair of leggings underneath.
Yeah, absolutely.
So don't be put off if you think it's too lightweight, because leggings would look lovely with that for like a weekend wear. Right, how much time have we got? I feel like I'm on.
Just over 5 minutes.
Right, let's have a go then at the shoulder seams, and we can start thinking about the facing, and then that is it, everything done.
Brilliant.
So,
and like you say, anything that you haven't said, even your cutting instructions, it gives you layout diagrams of how to lay out your fabric when you're cutting. I know that Laura and the team at So Different are so thorough with their instructions, aren't they?
Yeah, I would always follow the cutting diagram. I know some people like to play pattern Tetris to try and get out as much as possible. But I'm a bit of a rule follower, that if they've told me, if they've told me to put it in a particular way, there is a reason for it. Yeah. So I do follow the cutting out patterns, which are actually on the back, and it shows you for the different widths.
Oh, brilliant.
So obviously, because these are quite a wide side, if you've got a thinner one, then you might need to just kind of move the pattern pieces slightly.
Oh, brilliant. So
different.
it says, right, this is a layout diagram for 150 wide,
yeah,
and the other one's for 112 wide.
Yeah.
So that's really good, so it suits both widths.
Yeah, I would definitely pay attention to that as well. If you do want to be precious with your fabric, go ahead, once you've followed that, to then see if you can move things around.
Right, okay.
But I would definitely follow that first. I've got to follow rules. Right, our shoulder seams are coming on now. Now this is where it looks confusing because we've got like triangles, haven't we? But all we're going to do is go across there.
Okay.
There's our neckline, and then we're going to go across there.
You're not going to stitch at all over the neckline, just your shoulder sleeves?
Just the shoulder sleeves. And what's lovely is this shows us our 1.5 centimetre seam allowance, and there as well.
Brilliant.
So it all comes together so nicely once you've followed each part.
You know, when you started sewing, I know that you said that you sort of jumped straight in and went crazy with your dressmaking. Did you ever make a toile with calico or anything?
So if I ever want to make something that is got lots of steps and lots of fitting, I do. Right. But if it's something like this that's loose, that I know I can fit after I've made it, and I'm confident that those seam allowance will allow me to make those adjustments, then I don't.
Right.
If I was going to make a toile, I wouldn't do things like cut out the interfacing. With that one there, I would probably only cut out one side of the belt and not both sides, just so that you can feel it, but then you haven't got to sew up the belt and waste part of your calico. So when you do toiles, it doesn't mean you have to make up the whole garment.
Okay.
But do you know what I sometimes do? Buy cheaper fabric, make my toiles up in that.
So then you've got another dress. Yeah. Absolutely, good idea.
I've got another dress just to add to my collection, and then I don't feel so stressed if it didn't fit me, or even if it didn't suit me. Because part of the joy is actually the sewing. It's not just afterwards.
Yeah, I must say, I bet you feel such satisfaction though the first time that someone says, "Oh, where did you get your dress from?" Yeah. Where did you get your dress from?
It happened the other day. I came out of the photocopier room, and when the lady was like, "Oh, you've made that one, haven't you? Where's it?" Just asked me. I was like, "Yes." And then we were like talking about the fabric, and yeah, I love it. And also, I really enjoy the fact that I won't bump into somebody that has the same dress as me.
No, oh gosh, it's always the way, isn't it? Because like you said, actually when you start to look around the shops, I know that we haven't been doing much looking around the shops at the moment, but even when I'm online shopping, I'm like, every store is like the same really. I really struggle to find something that's a bit different, because then you do think, oh gosh, I'm going to be wearing the same so-and-so, or I'm going to be... Yeah.
I went to a wedding where I was in the same thing as somebody else. Oh, yeah. And I avoided that woman all day. Because I was like, no. And I thought she looked better in it than me as well. So I was like, no.
I'm sure not.
Right, there we go. Here is our lovely dress.
Oh, gorgeous. So then it has a facing, did you say?
Yes, it has a facing.
It?
Yep, no worries at all. So it has a facing, it comes in two parts. You've got a front part, which is a V, and then you have a back part. So let's have a look at those two pieces like this. So here is, we have to cut it on the fold, and we cut that one on the fold. It says front and back. Everything's really well labelled. Now what we're going to do is put right sides to right sides on the shoulder seams. Okay, so here we've got that there, that's our back. You can actually almost see the neckline there, and then this is our front here. So I'm going to put that on there, and then this one on here. And this was really interesting as well. I didn't realise how necklines were finished until I started sewing myself. Right. And then I looked back on some dresses that I'd bought, and I was like, oh, so that's how it's done. So you really start picking apart dresses or garments when you start sewing.
Right, yeah.
And that's what's really interesting.
And especially some of these really designer, expensive places, you could go into these design stores and think, right, I know how they've done that and constructed it.
Yeah. And then And also, you feel kind of like really posh, the fact that they've finished it the same way you finished yours.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I always thought at the start when you hear the word French seams and all these couture things, and actually then when you break down how to do it, it's like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah, yep. Right, so here is our facing. We're going to press that to the back, like this. Now, normally I would chop these threads off, but we're just going with it at the moment. So this is the back. Now this is where we do right size to right size. So we have to have our dress on the right side out.
Okay.
Whereas normally in dressmaking, we do a lot of things on the inside out. This time we do it on the right side. And then we put this, so for example, I'm going to put this over my head, but this will fit like that.
Okay.
Okay. So as if you were wearing that dress, that's going to fit as a ring around. So match up your shoulder seams first, because that's the point that you will need to make
just
sure.
go to the right slightly again.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
There we are.
Shimmying towards me.
It's because I've got so much space.
I know.
It's fabulous. Let me get rid of some of these.
We would say that we were rounding up, but we don't really have anything to round up, so we can stay with it out. Because the only thing that I think is available now is the linen bundle. The denim fabric sold out, the pattern's now sold out. Well done everybody who's managed to get it. Those of you that do want the linen bundle, you get 2.5 metres, which is enough to do the larger size, for £28.99. In fact, there's only 2 of those bundles left as well. It's so busy today. I'm just hoping that Adele finishes this so then I can wear it, because this is such a lovely dress. What do you mean you've bagsed it, Kat?
Right, so I had that pin in earlier.
Yeah.
We're going to take that pin out now and put that pin in at the front. Okay, so it was really good because I kept that straight, so that's not been flapping anywhere.
Right.
And now that's like this. Oh, I'm going to feel very chuffed if we get all this finished. And then it would just be the hemming, which we can do later. Now, it also says on the instruction about this V point about actually putting a dot of where you're going to turn. So can I use one of the pens?
Absolutely, please
Is that
do.
all right?
Yeah.
Right, so it's 1.5 centimetres. Now, if you are quite familiar with you can kind of gauge where it will be, but if you really want to, you can measure it. Do we have, well, let's just use this here, look. Has it got centimetres on the back? Yes. So we're going to take 1.5 centimetres from that point, and we're just going to put a dot. And the reason for that is we really want to get that a nice point. So that's where we're going to take my needle, keep it in, twist it, and then come back. There we go.
Oh. Literally got a couple of minutes.
Right, let's go. Let's go. Right, we're going to have this done, Vicky.
We can do it, we can do it.
We can. Oh, I feel like I'm on sewing bee now.
Yes.
And I've said 5 more minutes till your dress needs to be on your
fact,
mannequin.
Oh, I was going to say, could you apply for?
Well, I have applied, but I never got on.
Oh, right, you got to do it again. Go again. Now we've got inside info with Mark Francis. I'm sure that he's in the know-how with the casting department. We can ask him, can't we?
Oh, I applied twice and didn't get on, but...
Here you go. Yeah, you've got to be on. You'd be brilliant on there.
Oh, I'll be the one flapping around and then just stopping and just laughing. Because I get a nervous laugh, like, oh! And then if Patrick says something's wrong with it, I'll be like, I put so much effort into that.
Yeah, maybe not like cry and laugh in your audition video. Stay with us, just stay with us instead.
Yes. Right, so I've got to my dot, I've got my needle in, I'm going to twist. So don't be tempted to sew round. You want that a nice tight point, and then there we go. So I would also finish the edge of this facing just with some zigzag stitch, just so then it lasts longer in the wash.
Right.
I've got dresses that I've worn for years.
Yeah. I've even seen people who use just the pinking shears to go around, and
yes,
that's a good way of finishing it.
I had those, but I don't know where they've gone. I found the other day someone using my dressmaking scissors on paper.
No, we were talking about this at the start of the show.
Nope.
No.
And I was like, put them back, please.
I've had my husband using my fabric scissors for cutting bacon. You believe it? In the kitchen.
Terrible.
Just while Adele is stitching around, because we'd love to see the finished of it, the finished garment, I will tell you what is coming up at the end at tomorrow's show. So, tomorrow's show, we got lovely Debbie. I'm so excited to see her face when she's in here tomorrow. I'm going to put the telly on at 8 o'clock. She's here with the early bird at 8 with books, kits and panels. She's got a pleated bag at 9 o'clock. She's got fabulous fabrics at 10. She's going to be doing a letter wall hanging at 11 o'clock, and then we'll be repeating the first hour, which had a great saving today on the early bird with a pair of scissors, actually. We're talking about scissors. Yeah. We've got a Millwood pair of scissors with lots of goodies as well. That will be your repeat tomorrow. The repeat at 12 o'clock now, in just a few minutes, will be of yesterday's 8 o'clock show, which we had fabric bundles galore. It was a brilliant show yesterday. We had so many amazing bundles. In fact, lots of those might have sold out. There's quite a few that sold out, I know, in the show, but it's definitely worth calling the customer service team and finding out availability. And don't forget to search William Morris Fat Quarters. It isn't available at the early bird price, but it's still virtually like an early bird price compared to what you can pay elsewhere. So it's really, really good price. How are you getting on?
Good. Normally I would understitch this. Just keep that seam in, but I'm just pressing it so that we get the overall effect at home to be able to see. There we go. And yeah, because that will keep that interfacing in. Let me put a little pin in, because I would normally do a understitching just to make sure that that stays in. But there we go.
Oh, nice. It is beautiful. If you want to lay it flat, I think Paul's going to be able to show. Yeah, that's perfect. Oh, it's lovely to be able to see it sort of virtually finished, isn't it? It just needs hemming and understitching to see it in the denim. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Amazing on camera. Looks really nice.
Yeah. Once again, happy birthday. I hope you've enjoyed your birthday morning.
Oh, it is going to be a memory forever.
I must say, you've had so many messages. You must have a look on the Facebook fan page, because there's loads of messages on there. We've had loads of emails come through, which we've got to make sure that you read before you go home. But it's been so lovely having you here.
Thank you so
when
much
are you back in?
me.
Do you know?
What are we in now?
September.
October. I'm definitely in October and November.
Oh, brilliant.
2 more Saturdays.
Looking forward to seeing you. Thank you ever so much. Thank
for having me.
As I say, don't forget there is another hour of the replay to enjoy, so don't go anywhere if you want to make the most of any of those fabric bundles. Well done to everybody who managed to get both of the So Different patterns, because they completely sold out. Enjoy Debbie tomorrow. I'm back with you, I think, on Tuesday, potentially Monday, I think Tuesday, so I'll see you then. Enjoy the rest of your sunny weekend, and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow at 8 o'clock.